I don't think that number's gonna change unless he says it. Rapping hitman with 8 bodies still on the run. Bloodhound Q50. First off, he's not a. He could be a fucking hitman because murder for hire and shit out in Milwaukee. That's what people say. And then still on the run, like he didn't get fucking booked for a fucking switch and they let him go, bro. Like, bro, I swear, if I see fucking Q50's mugshot on one of the fucking papers like they did Bando KD, oh my god, bro. Won't be able to sleep.
The streets of Chicago have been a war zone for decades now. The
I'm
city
ready.
has one of the longest histories with gangs
I'm ready.
operating in the area, whether the Black Disciples, Gangster Disciples,
BDs,
Black
GDs.
Keystones, or dozens of other gangs that have operated there over the years. There's always groups waving their flag
What is
and fighting
this?
for dominance in every corner of the city. Gang
This
wars
a
in
gang
Chicago were a
map?
thing long before drill music emerged in the 2010s, with many of these gang-affiliated youths getting on the mic and documenting the bloody battles on their blocks, creating songs about the violence, many of which became hits. From Chief Keef to Lil Durk to King Von and FBG Duck. The songs these rappers made laid down the history of life in the streets of Chicago through jaw-dropping lyrics about killing and being killed in this treacherous environment. In my recent video, I covered Chicago's newest drill rap star and arguably aspiring serial killer, Bloodhound, or
Aspiring
Bloodhound,
serial
the
killer?
rapping hitman who himself claimed to have killed 11 people before his own untimely death. As those paying attention to the drill rap scene know, Jeff was seemingly on his way to becoming a major star in the scene, powered not only by his catchy music, which at the time was seemingly as hated amongst the drill fans as it was liked, but perhaps even more by his wild antics on social media and brazen lyrics bragging that he had
In my city, I'm a thread, bitch. I'm really up 10 hats. I can count on 10 toes how many got bodied. If I catch one more, then I'm like Bill Russell. You know that I really play ball. Won't hesitate, no, I'ma blow him up 10, I need some more.
indeed killed 10 or 11 people. But Jeff's rise in the rap game would be stopped before it even truly got started. As in June 2024, he would lose his life in a truly harrowing way, getting gunned down while literally chasing a man into a house whilst wildly shooting in his direction, with the security camera video of these events going viral soon after his passing, showing the world in 4K the dark truth that Jeff was really living the lifestyle he rapped about. And while Jeff isn't here anymore to take advantage of this virality, it would blow up his already existing fame to a whole new level, making him the latest poster boy for what the new generation of Chicago drill looks like, both on wax and in the streets, where killing has seemingly become so normalized that you have to at least claim to have several murders under your belt to even dream of making a name for yourself in music, and still attempting to catch your next body whilst being contacted by major record labels looking to sign you. However, the story of Lil Jeff's clip, The Bloodhounds, might stay on drill fans' radar long after his passing.
I seen Lil Bibby just post Q50. I'm like, damn, bro.
Because Jeff,
that's like different for Bibby, because Bibby always went after like the Juice WRLDs and shit. He taking on fucking Q50. Maybe he's just showing love. I don't know.
was by no means the only one, as those who follow Jeff's career closely know he had a right-hand man named Q50 who was seemingly doing everything that Jeff was doing too, including allegedly participating in killing up to 8 people, some of these people possibly being the same victims that Jeff has been alleged to have killed too, as these two had often referenced in their raps how they used to slide on their ops together.
50 hopping out masked up like Jason fuck.
Been alleged to have killed too, as these two
I'm everything they talk about. I'm a slimy dude, I'll walk you down. With Q50, that's my round. 50 shots, a clear crowd. Me and Lil Jeff picked their side, real deal blood. Mama cried. Damn.
Often referenced in their raps how they used to slide on their ops together. In fact, when it comes to the shooting that would claim Jeff's life, beside Jeff himself, Q50 is seemingly the only other person to have been identified as allegedly being at the scene with Jeff. Because while Jeff and his accomplices were wearing masks during their attack, a still image from a security camera would later begin to circulate, showing someone who looks a lot like Q50 carrying the lifeless body of Jeff without a mask, and seemingly wearing the exact same distinctive red tracksuit that one of the shooters at the scene had been wearing too. Indeed, it appears that while Jeff was still alive, Q50 cared more about the streets than rapping, and although he would participate in making music, particularly by featuring on songs together with Jeff, he seemingly had very little interest in pursuing a real career in rap, as he would explain during an On a Couch TV interview in May 2024.
When can we expect like an album from all? It's like at least 5 of y'all, 6 of y'all or something that rap.
I ain't gonna lie, folks. Let me tell you something with that rap. Tell you something about that rap, folks. I don't really get no about it for real, you feel me? Cause I'm out there, this the meal ticket out there.
Oh God, bro. Oh God, Q50 always says that shit, bro. It's crazy how life works, bro. He was the one that made it. He's gonna make it the farthest, bro. Out of everybody that's in this bitch, that's crazy, bro. Rest in peace, School. Rest in peace, Jeff. But Q50 gonna go the farthest. As long as he fucking stays alive and keeps his fucking freedom. Real shit, that shit is crazy, bro. And I could tell you really don't got a passion for it, but he's good at making fucking music and fucking talking crazy on a beat. That's just what it is. Like, the fact that he was trying to have Vaughn write his shit, which I could tell in the what's it called, the end of Vaughn's song, end of him and Vaughn's song, when it was going back and forth, I could tell, like, Vaughn probably wrote a lot of this shit. Like, the keyboard and delete shit, that's some shit Q50 not gonna come up with. But also, he was asking, like, the fans on the story, like, oh, what do y'all want my album name to be and shit like that. It's like, sometimes rappers gotta, like, take the initiative and, like, your album name is kind of, like, something that's, like, should be important to the rapper, but obviously Q50 ain't, him yet.
That's the,
yeah, his IG snippets. But I ain't gonna lie, his shit be sounding the same a lot, bro.
Meal ticket.
Shout out to him at Facts.
So I don't even get no
However, this would all seemingly change after Jeff's death, which was followed almost exactly a month later with the death of their good friend and Bloodhound affiliate, Lil Scoom, another highly popular and up-and-coming rapper who had arguably recorded and released the most music out of all of the members of that group. With both of these popular rappers and very close friends of Q50, Lil Jeff and Lil Scoom now being out of the picture, Q50 himself would seemingly decide to take rap more seriously to carry the torch for the Bloodhounds. This can be seen with his musical output, with him dropping several solo songs with music videos in recent weeks, these videos all gathering hundreds of thousands of views. Q50 had clearly been paying attention to how Jeff was making a name for himself with his seemingly overly audacious and possibly self-incriminating lyrics. For example, on Jeff's song Ah, which appears to describe the real murders of two high school students with a brazenness that has perhaps never been seen before in rap. And from here, Q52 will begin to drop increasingly outrageous bars himself, like saying how he shot someone 10 times before Jeff shot them 5 times, and then literally saying the name of the alleged victim as an ad-lib.
And that's just one example, because the more you look into Q50's lyrics, particularly the more recent lyrics, the more it begins to seem that he is in fact describing actual crimes that happened, often even providing ridiculously specific details about those crimes, like what model of car they were driving during the hit.
Yeah, so we have a play for that Grave Maxima Nissan. It's gonna be...
And this is from, 6-7 Everhard, right?
That's last thing going southbound on Everhard.
But perhaps the craziest part of all this is the fact that unlike Lil Jeff, whose bold lyrics about committing nearly a dozen murders went viral and became the topic of debate amongst drill fans after his death, Q50 on the other hand is actually still alive and evading the police in Chicago and beyond, and still rapping about having killed 8 people for the whole world to hear, and still actively dropping music at a rate.
I ain't gonna lie, I can say now 762 is Q50's worst, like, solo track. It's definitely, like, the shortest, and it's also, it don't hit, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I try to listen to it. I try to, like, just get into it, listen to it, and it just don't hit.
Put some of the biggest rappers to shame. Q50 is something like a modern-day outlaw, and despite his incredible talent for music, the unfortunate truth is that unless he changes his ways and distances himself from the streets, his story can only end one of 2 ways. With the question being, will the authorities crack the case?
Real shit, though. That's the obvious part. Like, bro, what is it? What is Q50 expecting? Like, if he ain't, like, adding new skull emojis to his fucking pictures, or get locked up for life, because, like, bro, a murder can lock you up for how many years? Like, bro, we gotta, like, take a step back from reality and realize that this dude, like, if what he's saying on the track is real and the police can find that out, they could lock him up for just one murder and it would be over for him if they could find him guilty of that shit. That's just, like, the shit that, like, I don't understand on, like, Q50 side.
Streets, his story can only end one of 2 ways. With the question being, will the authorities crack the case and catch up with him before his rivals in the streets do? So in this video, we'll be taking a closer look at who exactly was Lil Jeff's right-hand man, Bloodhound Q50, the true stories behind some of
the craziest shit is fucking Chicago. Like, didn't Scoom, the people that killed Scoom, get in a shootout with police and still make it home and they still not locked up yet? That's crazy.
Wildest lyrics, and try and answer once and for all, is this rapping hitman on the run likely to make it out of the streets for good?
Facts, they could have locked Q50 up if he was with... Damn. They could have locked Q50 up just for him allegedly being there when Jeff passed away.
Oh shit, oh shit!
They talking about the fight. Where he at? Look at him! Got his scholarship.
3 people have been wounded by gunfire at a McDonald's restaurant on Chicago's South Side.
So, SAS up down McDonald's.
Some more info for the police, 95th and Lafayette. 2 Male blacks jumped back into a white Infiniti last seen going northbound on Lafayette. Possible 4 occupants.
This morning, police are doing everything they can to find the person who shot and killed a 19-year-old.
Nah, I'm already caught up on trivia.
Everybody probably see y'all got the Z-Money tattoo on your face. It's probably real noticeable.
You know that.
Y'all basically let us know who that too. We see y'all keep his name alive every chance y'all get.
That's cuz. That's our cousin, folks. Me and folks' cousin. You see it tattoo on face. Hey, look, relentless.
He was actually in a ride chair when the driver says someone came up and then started shooting.
663, I got a name for our victim on 67th Street. First name Glendale. That's George, Lincoln, Eddie, Nora, David, Adam, Lincoln, Eddie.
I'm trying to put this St. Clint. 285 Chris.
I say, yeah, bread on my head. That's the same week on my dead grandma.
Nah, it's about to be crazy, bro.
Yeah, last name gonna be Harris, Jeffrey, July 12, 2002.
When can we expect like an album from all? It's like at least 5 of y'all, 6 of y'all.
Trapper James?
Expect like
that's their names. Oh, I thought that was like his government. Trapper James, Trapper Auto.
Album from all. It's like at least 5 of y'all, 6 of y'all or something that rap.
I ain't gonna lie, folks. Let me tell you something with that rap. Say something about that rap, folks. I don't really get no about it for real. You feel me? Cause on my dick, this the meal ticket out there, folks. Let's convert and let y'all. That's the that's the meal tickets on it.
I'm low key, I think it's on camera. Shots heard at the police, T9 Lawrence. They're shooting at the police, 700 East 89th Place. They're shooting at the police.
Fucking intro beat. It's a fucking intro, bro.
These are honors happening. You're not looking good.
I was on PC. Like, I'm going to hey, Kurt, I don't care about going to jail. They treat me like heaven up.
They smoke like Russ. Notice ain't mad because his ass got slumped.
Big up.
Notice he's mad because his ass got slumped. Stupid ass. TJ, come on, TJ. Be doing all that little yelling and eyes getting big and don't scare nobody. No ass ain't never killed nobody.
Who is Q50? Look at him. Come on.
Q50, real name Michaela Cooper, was born on the 6th of August 2004, which was also my birthday, funnily enough. Not much is known about his early years, but it seems that he might have been spending at least some of those years in Chicago, as his 6th birthday would be celebrated at Jackson Park, located not far from the area that he and Jeff would later begin to claim as their hood for the Bloodhounds, one of their main intersections seemingly being on 79th and Maryland, which is located in the Chatham neighborhood. This same hood also being the home to a much older set called Drill City. This area is also considered part of the so-called unofficial east side of Chicago, which I've covered in depth in my earlier Lil Jeff video. However, it seems that at some point Q50's family would move out of the Chicago city limits to the nearby city of Gary, Indiana, which is about 25 miles southeast from downtown Chicago, as can be seen from Q50's mother's old Facebook account. Gary is a city with an industrial working class history which has been deeply affected by the disappearance of manufacturing jobs in the US, making the city lose over half of its population since the 1960s. It's also a city with a rich African American history, and Gary still has one of the largest black populations per capita in America. However, Q50's family from his mother's side seemingly grew up in the so-called east side of Chicago.
I ain't glad that looked fucking accurate, because Q50's fucking Jeff's cousin, Jeff's fucking Z-Money's cousin are all cousins and shit.
With the mother apparently attending the Hirsch Metropolitan High School, this being the very same school that the young Bloodhound members who grew up on the east side would also attend, like Vert. However, despite growing up on the east side, unlike Lil Jeff's family, there's no indication that anyone in the close family was heavily involved in any gang activity at this time. To the contrary, the family have seemingly been pretty hard workers, with Q50's uncles having military and Navy backgrounds. Recently, a rumor would begin to spread on social media and Reddit that Q50's mother had been arrested for a gun. But this woman is in fact not Q50's mum, but one of her sisters. In any case, merely having a gun in Chicago, particularly on the south side, is hardly a sign of much else than a desire to protect yourself. But still, growing up on the east side, the family were allegedly somewhat associated with a brain-dead Black Disciple set that would become known as Hit City. In fact, Q50's mother and his sisters can even be seen in a group photo about the set that's attached to a popular Google gang map. Interestingly, the hood of Hit City Q50, which now seems largely to have been taken over by other sets, was located on 77th and Greenwood, which is right next to Drill City, that would later become the home of the Bloodhounds. It seems that at least Q50's grandfather, but likely the whole family, would seemingly live right next to this intersection. In December 2013, this set and Q50's family would experience a tragic loss when 18-year-old Darius Dudley would pass away in a car crash. Darius was a cousin of Q50's mother and her siblings, and one of them can be seen together with him on his old Facebook account, whilst Q50's uncle still pays tribute to Darius on his social media to this day. But Darius was also seemingly a very loved member of his Hit City set, which at the time also went by SOB, but would begin to call their hood Darius World in his honor. Both Darius and Q50's family were also close to people from other notable sets, one of these people being a rapper called Lil D, who would rep Darius World heavily in his music and on social media. Lil D hails from a BD set called Lowlife, located in Inglewood next to the infamous set Lamron 300. Lowlife is particularly known in the drill culture for allegedly being behind the murder of infamous Brick Squad GD member Lil Jojo, the young rapper who was beefing heavily with Chief Keef and other BD rappers when the drill genre first blew up in popularity, with Jojo becoming a notorious target in the streets after releasing the gangbanging anthem BDK, a ruthless song calling for all black disciples to be killed that became an anthem for gangster disciples. More specifically, Jojo's alleged killer was a notorious shooter and not so gentle giant called Loco, who himself would pass away in 2021 for unknown natural reasons. Loco was very close with Lil D, who on the other hand was making a name for himself in the early drill scene with his rapping, releasing numerous music videos that now have over 100,000 views. He was also collaborating with other up-and-coming rappers at the time, like Kenny Mack from the Halstead Boys set and Prince Dre from O-Block, as well as being close with people like the rapper Mimo from the infamous 600 set. It seems that Q50's mum and her siblings were even supposed to be part of one of Lil D's music videos in 2014, but for whatever reason, this wouldn't actually happen. Telling a bit about Q50's family history is important to understand why he would later get involved in the deadly gang wars in Chicago, despite seemingly spending much of his childhood and adolescent years outside of Chicago and away from the gang life. As we'll discuss later, the reasons go much deeper than his immediate family's background, because his broader family tree is also deeply connected to the Bloodhounds themselves. Anyways, like Lil Jeff, a young Q50 was also seemingly very into basketball growing up, with his grandfather even making a post all the way back in 2012 saying how little Q50 had promised to buy him a fancy car when he made it to the NBA. In 2018, his uncle would post on social media how he had taken then 14-year-old Q50 to hooping with grown men and he had still held his own. Later, Q50 would post videos of himself playing in a team when he was young, showing that he indeed had some real skills as a hooper. However, height might have been an issue for Q50's hoop dreams fairly early on, although it's unclear exactly when he stopped playing competitively. But what we do know is that Q50 would eventually get into high school age, seemingly still living in Indiana, not Illinois, while attending the Maryville High School located in the town of Maryville, which is around 10-mile drive south from Gary. According to some data broker websites that provide personal data about people, Q50's address in Maryville would be in a very nice neighborhood full of very large single-family homes. But whether or not this information is actually correct is hard to verify. Recently, a video would go viral showing a high school age Q50 fighting with a group of boys at his high school, with Q50 showing that he wasn't scared of getting mobbed by the group, as he would attack one of the boys with a slick takedown, slamming him on the concrete as other boys would swarm him from every direction. After this video would go viral, Q50's mother would comment on it on social media, saying how he hadn't backed down, so they tried to jump him, and that none of those boys would try that with him now, showing that his mother is certainly aware of the reputation that Q50's garnered since those high school days. Anyway, Q50 would eventually graduate from Maryville High School in 2022, with his family members posting photos and videos of this joyous event to social media.
Look at Q50. I don't know where he's at. Yeah. I mean, this is him. Oh, this is him. Oh, this is him.
Q50's high school experience was likely greatly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, as can be seen from a picture of him still wearing a mask during his graduation, although he was seemingly at least able to have a prom celebration in his senior year. At the time of his graduation, Q50 was seemingly already involved with the Bloodhounds, as can be seen from these pictures posted a year earlier during the summer and fall of 2021, where he could be seen.
Bro, look at them. It's like they just hop off the porch, bro. Damn. Damn, got the feel.
Hanging out with Jeff and other members, likely
look at them, bro.
In Chicago. There are also some claims that Q50 was already well connected with a gang set connected to the Bloodhounds, this being the set MTV 079, with this connection seemingly coming from another young member called Mari Scoom, or MTV Scoom, whom Q50 is sometimes called his little brother in music and on social media. Mari Scoom, real name Jalen Frazier, who was an aspiring rapper, was only 16 when he was one of 4 people arrested in May 2023 for allegedly participating in killing an off-duty police officer, Ariana Preston, Preston during a robbery. However, Scoom is seemingly not Q50's brother from his mother's side.
Wait, what was that? What did I just miss? He got the same fucking tattoo. No, it's not the same. Oh, that's probably why they do the Z Money tattoo like that. He got the fucking
social media. Mari Scoom, real name Jalen Fred, 50. With this connection seemingly coming from a gang set connected to the Bloodhounds, this being the set MTV 079. With this connection seemingly coming from another young member called Mari Scoom, or MTV Scoom, whom Q50 is sometimes called his little brother in music and on social media. Mari Scoom, real name Jalen Frazier, who was an aspiring rapper, was only 16 when he was one of 4 people arrested in May 2023 for allegedly participating in killing an off-duty police officer, Ariana Preston, during a robbery. However, Scoom is seemingly not Q50's brother from his mother's side of the family, but he could be from his father's side, yet there's seemingly very little information about him online. However, on Reddit, some people who claim to have known Q50 during middle school and high school call his affiliation with MTV to be cap, and saying that Q50 only turned to the gang life after beginning to spend time with his family. Indeed, Q50's seamless-looking transformation from a high school student in Indiana to a bona fide gang member in Chicago may seem strange at first look, but as mentioned before, it becomes arguably much more understandable when looking at his broader family connections. In fact, in one video taken at his prom, Q50 can be seen posing for photos with a few of his cousins, many of these in fact being members of the Bloodhounds.
It's like a drunk auntie.
Alright, here we go.
And this is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Q50.
My thing is, dude graduated in 2022. That would be like June 2022, right? So he had 2 full years to fucking up 8.
These family connections to this gang. Just like Lil Jeff, it seemed that Q50's early life had a lot of potential, and it hadn't been as plagued with violence as some of the other prolific gangsters I've covered, like King Von or Lil Durk. But eventually, things would change, and over time, Q50 along with Jeff and their other friends would begin to wage war on the streets of Chicago under the banner of the Bloodhounds.
Fuck. Meet the Bloodhounds, Q50's gang!
In terms of Chicago street history, there's many large gangs that have a long and storied history, like the BDs and the GDs. But in the modern era, many of these larger gangs were displaced and replaced with smaller localized sets that didn't pay respect to the historic allegiances and were much more motivated by the local conflicts in their blocks and the surrounding areas. As I discussed in my 3-hour deep dive into Lil Jeff, although the Bloodhounds have become one of the most known gang sets of Chicago in recent times due to rappers like
Damn, 400K in 2 days?
Jeff, Q50 and Vert repping them hard in their music, this set, or Click as it should perhaps more appropriately be called, is at this point likely around a decade old, being seemingly formed at the time when the original drill wave.
When I seen the Jeff documentary and the AC Q50's name really get mentioned, I'm like, bruh, he probably gonna do a video on them.
Was still going strong in the early to mid 2010s, being primarily made up of members of 4 gang sets from around the Chatham and Woodlawn neighborhoods: Drill City, MTV 079, 400 East, and Chris World, with the majority of the members coming from Drill City, while the other 3 sets having one or a few members who rep the clique. Therefore, the area that the Bloodhounds primarily claim is the same as Drill City's, this area being particularly around 79th Street, roughly from Ellis Avenue to Cottage Grove. The 79th Street as a whole is known for being particularly dangerous, and Drill City's hood is no exception, with particularly their busiest intersection at 79th and Cottage Grove being an especially wild location, where anything can go down at any moment, with frequent reports of shootings and fights, sometimes even aimed at law enforcement themselves.
Damn!
They lights bright as hell, I can't.
That's the point.
This is also the location where Jeff and Q50 can be seen hanging out in Jeff's music video for the song Shoulda Saw It, as the two appear to walk around the area like they truly run the place. While there's no exact knowledge of how many members the Bloodhounds have, there are certain names that seem to form the core group. Many of these people are older members who have been part of the clique since its inception and are now in their late 20s or early 30s, while others, like Jeff, Q50 and Vert, are part of the new generation and are still in their late teens or early 20s. While there's also a generation coming up under them, these kids seemingly being barely high school age while still already being heavily involved in the streets.
Deal about a fucking time, I wish a nigga would come out this crib. Yo, no, taking cars. We had this on. But no.
Cars is crazy.
Oh my God! Y'all not out here on the what? Stop playing with us. Y'all think? Come on, God.
One interesting thing about the Bloodhounds is that many of the members appear to be blood related, with the younger members like Jeff and Q50 also having seemingly deep family ties to the older members of the clique. For example, besides Q50 being a cousin of both Jeff and another rapper of the Bloodhounds called Z Money, who was infamously killed in 2023. This murder allegedly starting the war between, on one side, the Bloodhounds, formerly known as Drill City, and their former friends in Trap City, a war which would eventually cost Lil Jeff his life. Q50 is seemingly also related to several of the core OGs of the Bloodhounds, such as three brothers known as Tay or Tayski, Derm, and Swerve. These three can be seen all over Q50's family's social media, such as this picture with Q50's uncle together with them and other Bloodhounds, or the trio's mother commenting OTF or only the family on Q50's mother post of Q50 from his prom night. The trio also call Q50 their lil cuz or buzz in blood lingo. Out of these, Tay, known on Instagram as BloodyBrothers_79, is seemingly sometimes discussed by other members as being the main Bloodhound, or at least seemingly the one with the most money, with Q50 being seen on social media.
I'm missing shit, bro. Like, oh my god, bro.
Video showing familiar flexing. Trio also Ocha with Derm and Swerve, or OGs of the Bloodhounds, over Q50's brothers known as Tay or Tayski, Derm, and Swerve. These three can be seen all over Q50's family's social media, such as this picture with Q50's uncle together with them and other Bloodhounds, or the trio's mother commenting OTF or only the family on Q50's mother post of Q50 from his prom night. The trio also call Q50 their lil cuz or buzz in blood lingo. Out of these, Tay, known on Instagram as BloodyBrothers_79, is seemingly sometimes discussed by other members as being the main Bloodhound, or at least seemingly the one with the most money, with Q50 being seen on social media flexing wads of cash and a diamond-studded Rolex Datejust, and a caption saying most people think it must be Tay's money. Derm, on the other hand, has been dabbling with rapping in recent years, with his music videos showing familiar Bloodhound trademarks that I've covered in depth in my Lil Jeff video, like the members dropping Ys for one of their oldest ops, a crew called TYMB, as well as flexing flashy jewelry like their Bloodhound chains and designer watches, as well as big vacuum-sealed bags of dope. The younger rappers, Jeff, Q50, and Vert, can also be seen on Derm's most recent music video from April 2022 titled Bloody Mary, while Derm also mentions Jeff in his rhymes, presenting Jeff as essentially his shooter who will bail out of a car and empty a switch on you if you act tough. These three also have a younger brother called Bloodhound J, who has released several music videos. And Q50's family connections to the Bloodhound.
Is that Scoom's little brother? I ain't gonna lie, it's not that Scoom's little brother. It look like awfully like
younger
him, bro.
brother called Bloodhound J, who has released and empty a switch on you if you act tough. These three also have a younger brother called Bloodhound.
These three also have a younger brother.
J, who has released several music videos. And Q50's family connections to the Bloodhounds don't end there, because he's also related to several other members, such as two brothers called Dola and Quis, whose mother is the sister of the mother of Tay.
Oh, and now I'm covering up the fucking face. Like, where do I go, bro? Oh, cover up the name here. Like, do I go in the middle of the fucking screen? Like, bro, there's no winning with this shit, bro.
Derm and Swerve and Jay. Quis has also gone by the rapper named Slimito, and he has a couple of music videos together with both Q50 and Lil Jeff, with Lil Jeff rapping on the song Big 3, how he, Q50, and Quis, aka Slimito, will get the job done when it comes to sliding on their ops. Tay, Derm, and Swerve, on the other hand, have for a long time been close with older Bloodhound members, such as Drezzy Bands, who has also dabbled in rapping, his earliest songs being all the way back from the mid-2010s, when the Bloodhounds first really became a thing, like the music video for the song Vicious from May 2016, that also includes two other Bloodhound members, Hothead and MTV Cash. In his more recent music video from March 2021, Drezzy can be seen hanging out in the Bloodhound's hood on the 79th of Maryland, whilst dropping rakes for their close-by ops like the 8 Trey Mob, Evans Mob, and Hit Squad. Then there's the rapper JB Bin Laden from the 400 East set, who has at this point been a major figure in the Chicago drill scene for over a decade, as a result of his deep connection with murdered drill icon LA Capone. JB Bin Laden is also a Bloodhound OG, having repped the gang in his music for years. And the list of rappers just keeps going, because then there are also older guys like the before-mentioned Bloodhound Hothead, who is currently locked up, as well as MTV Cash and MTV Chino, who have all repped the Bloodhounds in their music and on social media since the mid to late 2010s.
Yeah, you see them bandanas, that mean we Bloodhounds. Yeah. Ride through with your flag out.
Got the man running with the car flipped over.
Video, he just looking at us, bro. Bloodhound. Yeah. Are we Bloodhound on Vernon too?
Cash and Chino's MTV 079.
Every time I see a Chicago video, it's always like a fucking cloudy day, bro. I never see the sun out or nothing, bro.
Yeah. Are we Bloodhound on Vernon too?
Cash and Chino's MTV 079 set is perhaps best known for being the set of Glow Gang member Trey Savage, who was a close friend of Chief Keef for years before he was murdered in the Chatham neighborhood during the summer of 2020, whilst he was dropping off his girlfriend near his home turf, but also an area frequented by the ops of MTV and the Bloodhounds, Evans Mob, 8 Trey Mob, in the hit squad. And there's also of course Jeff's big brother and another cousin of Q50 called J Boogie, who has seemingly been part of the Bloodhounds pretty much since their inception, and has also been rapping to the early to mid 2010s, but he's currently locked up on gun-related charges. Boogie has a very close friend called CJ, who's also a Bloodhound OG, and seemingly one of the first members to rep the clique hard on social media. Bloodhounds seemingly also have a presence all the way in Milwaukee, with members like an older guy called Big Sleep, who's also put out at least one song as a rapper together with other Bloodhound-affiliated Milwaukee rappers like K-Rax, with Q50, Lil Jeff, and older Bloodhound members even making a cameo in a July 2023 music video by K-Rax and other Milwaukee rappers that was seemingly filmed in Milwaukee.
The youngest in the camp, and I cracked 40 this month. Call my blood, roll up the clientele, stupid. Dumbass. Oh yeah. These the baby bros, you hear me? Don't forget about the Bloodhound, Big B, Long Wizzy.
As I discussed in my Lil Jeff video, this connection to Milwaukee would even lead to rumours that Jeff and Q50 had committed contract killings in the city for their local affiliates, with numerous lyrics appearing to hint towards this. Now that we know a little bit more about the Bloodhounds and Q50's deep family ties to the clique, let's take a look at the crazy true events that played out on the streets of Chicago and culminated in Q50 eventually claiming to have caught 8 bodies. To truly understand the timeline of events that led up to Q50 becoming an alleged demon in the Chicago streets who caught 8 bodies and rapped about it, we have to go right back to the start and trace the history of the deadly wars in the area, from the original East Side crew named Lon City that formed into Drill City and later became embroiled in an in-house feud that saw a new group branching off, with a war between groups that will be named Drill City and Trap City before eventually the Bloodhounds would be fully established as one of the most deadly gang sets in the modern Chicago drill culture. So we're going to do a quick recap of some key moments from that beef, but if you've already watched my video on Lil Jeff, then you might want to skip past this chapter and continue hearing about Q50's transformation into a gangster rapper, but if not, prepare to learn the dark history of how the Bloodhounds came to be.
So, I gotta skip fucking 30 minutes? Should we do it? My dad can't get this bitch open. Okay.
The events of this video largely take place in the so-called East Side of Chicago, but when talking about the East Side in this context, this should not be confused with the official East Side, which is one of the 77 community areas of Chicago located in the far south side of the city. The unofficial East Side of this story, on the other hand, is mainly part of Chicago folklore, and thus its exact borders are often heavily debated by the locals, with many even arguing that everything in the south side from State Street all the way to Lake Michigan actually counts as the East Side, which would even include hoods like the infamous O Block and their main rivals STL EBT and Jaro City. And on the other side of the Washington Park, also hoods like Tay Savage's Welch World. Yet these hoods are typically not
wait, my fault, I didn't skip. No, I'm fried. My fault. Vert bodies. Oh yeah, they got bullshit.
Accounts still have real name Zaire, bunch of bag by any means JB in their music, such as the May 2020 music video. He raps how he's flexing big bunch of songs around this time too, this being Jeff and Q50's cousin, Z Money, real name Zaire Nelson. Meanwhile, the new generation of Drill City, Trap City, and Chris World members were also reaching adulthood, one of these kids being the Bloodhound rapper Vert, or Rel Vert, who seemingly spent much of his childhood in these neighborhoods. In fact, his and his old friend's social media accounts still have plenty of pictures left from around that time period. Vert would also explain in his early 2022 interview with Truth Teller TV that he was both Drill City and Trap City.
Truth Teller TV is crazy.
67 Trap City and Saturday Night Drill City. My name Lil Vert, man.
Jeff, on the other hand, was still largely absent from much of the social media activity concerning Drill City or the Bloodhounds coming into the 2020s, with one of his first music-related appearances seemingly being in late 2021, a music video by Z Money titled Gone MIA, where a 19-year-old Jeff can be seen chilling in the background while his cousin raps, while his other appearance will be soon after in a music video for his brother J Boogie and JB Bin Laden's track titled N-Words Green, where Jeff can be seen next to his big bro row, smoking big blunts and toting a gun with a drum magazine, showing that at this point he was already likely deep in the streets together with his brother. Coming into the 2020s, it seems that the beefs of the 06679, aka the Chris World, Trap City and Drill City Alliance, which now included also the Bloodhound clique, were now increasingly beginning to revolve around their oldest enemies, the GD majority sets of the former Lon City, 8-Tray Mob, Evans Mob and Hit Squad, which is likely why they were increasingly dropping rakes for the GDs in their music videos instead of the Ys for TYMB like they had primarily done throughout the 2010s. That would have been back when the beef with TYMB was particularly hot. The beef between these majority GD sets would eventually allegedly lead to several murders happening on both sides during 2021, with the 8-Tray Mob losing 2 loved members in a short amount of time. First of these being a guy known as Clay, real name Darian Cherry, who was shot early in March before eventually passing away in May. Clay's murder has never been solved, but the rumors online have placed the blame on a few different people. One of these, perhaps somewhat surprisingly, being Lil Jeff himself, with some people claiming that this information comes from a reliable source, while others would claim that Clay had in fact been killed by Vert. However, to be absolutely clear, there's seemingly no real evidence to tie either of them to this murder, although they would certainly take part in dissing Clay on social media. And in music, unfortunately, Vert and Drill City were soon about to experience a major loss of their own, as Vert's very close childhood friend called Ruger, real name Jermaine Darden, was killed in Drill City's hood in March 2021, while 2 others were wounded. Like Clay before him, the killing of Ruger would also become yet another unsolved murder in Chicago. However, there has certainly been some interesting posts that have come out after his death, one of these being a post from one of the cousins of Clay, who would say how he'd risked his life to get back for Clay. Then, less than a month after Ruger's death, on the 13th of April 2021, at around 7 PM, a very close friend of Clay and a fellow 8-Tray Mob member called Lil Crew, real name Nyreek Curtis, would be gunned down at the very same location where Clay had been shot. Yet again, the murder of Crew would go unsolved. But in online spaces, such as Reddit, the Jeffologists themselves, who have been rumored to possess an almost otherworldly ability to see the victims of their demigod and his disciples in their crystal balls, have once again pinned this murder on Vert. Once again, Vert would drop several songs
Now, why is he in a Lil Jeffology subreddit for this video,
dissing now both Clay and Crew and saying how they had gotten get back for Ruger, and even seemingly implying that he was the one who had gotten both Clay and Crew out of the picture. At this point, it was clear that no matter who had been behind these murders, the war around the East Side was getting very heated. But the following year in 2022, things would arguably go from bad to worse, as both Jeff and now also Q50 would get increasingly involved in these beefs, even catching a body that would eventually become one of Q50's main bragging rights in his music.
Oh nah. The murder of Boogie.
In October 2022, Lil Jeff, or Bloodhound Lil Jeff as his artist name is called, would begin his rap career, dropping his first song and music video titled The Bloody Family together with JB Bin Laden, and the name of the song being an obvious reference to the Bloodhound gang. Since the beginning, Jeff was rapping like he was really truly about that life, dropping bars like how he bought himself a gun when he hopped off the porch, and now he's killing people like it's a sport. Q50 too can be seen in this music video wearing a COVID mask, whilst doing entertaining drill antics like using a Draco for weightlifting. Also in the music video for the song Knuck If You Buck by Vert, released some weeks later at the end of October, Q50 can be seen holding 2 handguns with drum magazines, showing just where he might have gotten his name from, as he would later also rap in his songs. Clearly, around this time, Q50 was already knee-deep in the gang lifestyle, after seemingly having begun to increasingly hang out with the Bloodhounds at least since the previous year, and now having finished his high school years, as well as having seemingly moved to Chicago. However, it would still be several months before Q50 himself would eventually begin to rap in the spring of 2023, but while Q50 wasn't yet rapping, it appears that he may have been getting involved in other, far more sinister activities that the Bloodhounds were allegedly involved in too, because only about a month after the release of Lil Jeff's Bloody Family music video, a murder would take place that Q50 has later referenced in his songs numerous times. On the 10th of November 2022, a 29-year-old OG of the 9-5 mob called Bougie, real name Rodney Strong, as well as his brother and mother, were visiting their local McDonald's, which is located only 0.2 miles away from the corner of 95th and Wentworth that the 9-5 mob claims. This is in fact the very same McDonald's where all the way back in 2013, someone would shoot infamous drill rapper Lil J in the buttocks. Anyway, while Bougie and his family were in front of the McDonald's, another car would suddenly pull up, with several men hopping out of the car, armed with handguns and a rifle, beginning to shoot at them.
602 Sam.
Go ahead, 602 Sam.
Hey, we're getting shot spotter, 13 rounds at 51 West 95th Street on the street. Hey, we're getting another shot spotter for 1 round on 9443 South State.
It's not the one.
And that's on the sidewalk, and it looks like there's a person down at the McDonald's, right at the front door.
10431. We're also getting a call of a person shot. Yes, we're getting one person shot, a woman shot in the arm at 95th and Lafayette at that McDonald's. We got 2 people shot. 631, we're getting another one at 95th at the McDonald's at the red line. Another person shot.
They just coming in.
560 on the zone, 560.
Go ahead, 560.
We got a person shot actually too at this McDonald's, 95th Street. I'm going to need a couple 660 cars, supervisors, and crime scene team. We have a lot of people over here. Doesn't look good.
10-4, we have
doesn't look
coming your
good.
way.
Really? It doesn't look good. There's 3 people shot.
At the McDonald's, we got one at the red line and 632s with the other victim. I'm sorry, 631s with the other victim.
633.
Don't mention the
Go
maximum.
ahead, 633.
We got one more.
This is the same occasion, right?
602 Sam.
602 Sam.
That person shot over there. There is a white Infiniti sedan. It left the area going southbound down the wrong way on LaSalle from 95th northbound. 633.
633.
It's a total of 3 people shot over here. 2 males, 1 female.
Did they all 3 check out? There's no way they all 3 checked
Got
out.
some more info for the police. 95th and Lafayette. 2.
I heard that though in the new song. Like,
fuck. Last thing going northbound on Lafayette. Hospital 4 occupant.
Yes, that's in the Vine off 17 song.
We got him rolling.
Alright, I got info on 2 of the victim shots. First victim, 1 gunshot wound, center
I don't
back.
think he did that at all.
Butt. His last name is Strong, common spelling. First name, his brother shot multiple times, same last name. First name Rodney.
Shot multiple times. 10-4. What's their conditions? 614. What are their conditions?
Rodney, he's extremely critical, and he's up, he's moving, he's talking, he's in good condition.
Okay.
Breaking news at the 5 o'clock hour. 3 people have been wounded by gunfire at a McDonald's restaurant on Chicago's South Side. Now to a shooting at McDonald's restaurant. 3 people have been wounded.
Our Mayor Kawash is live at the scene there. This is 95th and Lafayette on the South Side. Eric?
Cheryl Allen, still quite the scene here from police as they have this entire McDonald's blocked off right off the Dan Ryan. As of right now, Chicago Fire tells us there are 3 victims in this shooting. Their ages ranging from 29 to 49 years old. Witnesses tell us this was kind of sparked by a drive-by. That's where these bullets were coming from, out of some vehicle here near 95th and Lafayette. Now, officials tell us there are some shell casings inside that McDonald's here, which again is closed right here. It's still not clear what sparked the shooting, but we know the 3 victims are being treated at nearby hospitals. 2 of the men listed in critical condition and a female also seriously hurt. We just spoke to a pastor who has a church right nearby. He came over here just after those shots were fired.
On the day that's supposed to be, the last warm day of the year, you're right after the elections, so we can see if, some of these people are going to do what they say. And they got a good example today. It's a violent day in the city, and definitely a violent, just crazy day here
every day,
while people are trying to come home from work.
In Chicago.
So again, all signs of a tragic scene here. 3 victims in the hospital. Police continuing to work through this entire investigation. There were reports of several rounds of gunfire coming from that vehicle.
They're all centered.
So we're expecting another update from Chicago Police as we continue to learn more this evening. We'll keep you updated.
Look at that.
Alan, Cheryl.
2 of the victims, the brother and mother of Bougie, would survive, but unfortunately, Bougie wouldn't be so lucky, as he appeared to be the main target of the attack and would get shot numerous times, passing away later at the Advocate Christ Medical Center.
29.
Now to a breaking news update, a shooting right in front of a popular McDonald's. 1 man is dead, 2 others hurt.
Pastor Donovan Price says he's saddened to hear about this incident, not only because of those injured and killed during the shooting, but also because it's on that very same corner where he does a lot of his anti-violence and community outreach. Thursday night, crews boarding up the windows of this McDonald's on 95th Street, just off the Dan Ryan, where police say a woman and 2 men were shot.
Apparently a car pulled up with an individual who opened and shot at least 29 shell casings, I counted, and so it was quite a shooting.
Just before 3 p.m.,
They didn't mention that part. Wait, they said the 2 were brothers, and then it was their mom? 30 shots?
49-year-old woman was shot in the arm. She's expected to be okay. A 27-year-old man was shot in the back and is in good condition. And a 29-year-old man was shot multiple times and died, according to police. It's unclear if the three are related or if they were the target of the shooting.
One of the young men that got shot, he went running back into McDonald's, and a CTA bus driver, a bus operator, caught him as he fell. One ran around the back by the Maxwell Street hot dog stand, and he succumbed to his injuries. He fell.
At the scene, clothing and bullet casings scattered all along the sidewalk.
Tragic at such a busy street during the almost during rush hour time. What could have happened is perhaps what we should be thankful for in the midst of the tragedy.
Yeah, police are still investigating this shooting, and so far, no one is in custody.
Only around 12 days after the murder of Bougie, there would be another shooting near that same McDonald's, which had reportedly begun after an altercation at the restaurant. It would seem that McDonald's had had enough of these incidents, and they would close the location for good in early 2023. But this is certainly not the only McDonald's that's had to deal with extreme levels of violence in Chicago. And in fact, only a few months before the murder of Bougie, McDonald's CEO would raise an alarm over the escalating amount of violence at their restaurants in the city. According to one somewhat tongue-in-cheek political theory from 1996 by the Pulitzer Prize-winning author and political commentator Thomas Friedman, who came up with the Golden Arches theory, that says that the presence of McDonald's restaurants are actually a sign of a nation reaching a level of economic development and stability, with a country getting a McDonald's indicating that it has a strong enough middle class to support the fast food chain, as well as building strong economic ties with other similar nations. And as the theory goes, no two countries that both have a McDonald's have ever gone to war against each other. But the fact that the McDonald's couldn't stay open in the 9/5...
That's just a coincidence, bro. What the fuck does that mean?
That both have a McDonald's have ever gone to war against each other. But the fact that the McDonald's couldn't stay open in the 9/5 mob hood says a lot about how dangerous the area was, that it was affecting McDonald's at a corporate level, and indicating that this area is indeed as dangerous as some of the conflict-ridden nations which are too damn wild for McDonald's to even want to set up shop there. While this theory is about nations, the economic inequality between the haves and have-nots in Chicago, and the effects, like crime, that follow on from such inequality, are clearly reflected in certain areas of the city, which have seemingly reached the levels of instability where even fast food chains like McDonald's struggle to keep their...
Bro, why are y'all keeping Burger King alive, bro? Like, how the fuck are y'all, like, how are they still able to pay their bills, bro? I swear, I've never seen a Burger King shut down or nothing, bro. That shit has always been there and will forever always be there, bro. Like, I hate that shit, bro. Like, fuck.
Is open there, and that also goes to show how hard life is for the residents there too. Because if the McDonald's can't stay open due to violence, then people in the area can't go and work there for an honest employment.
Bro, and real shit, I never see like like more than 2 cars in a line at Burger King, bro. If I want to go to Burger King, I get in and out, bro, because there's no one there. So how the fuck is people keeping that shit alive,
posing yet another avenue of economic opportunity in the area and forcing even more young people to turn to crime to get by? It's truly a vicious cycle. But anyway, there would seemingly be no strong leads in Bougie's murder, even with the details about the suspects being incredibly vague, as the assailants had seemingly covered their faces and bodies almost perfectly. But there would be clues about who might have been involved circulating amongst the local drill rappers. In April 2023, Q50 would begin his rap career, releasing the song and music video titled Big 3, which would include verses from Jeff and the Bloodhound member Slimito, aka Queese. Q50, who is dressed in all black while wearing a ski mask, begins his verse by also stating that when he stepped out in this gear, somebody died. But it wouldn't be until his next song, titled Coffin, which also includes verses from Jeff and JB Bin Laden, that Q50 would begin referencing the murder of Bougie, as he raps that someone should go pick their brother up before saying, "Now that's disrespect," and F95. These lyrics seemingly being aimed directly at Bougie's brother, who was there that day. After Coffin, Q50 would seemingly not pay much thought to rapping, as he would only drop 2 songs officially, neither of these seemingly mentioning
I guess open that Chick-fil-A in Chicago, motherfuckers gonna be saying
explicit
my pleasure
about
in your
Bougie,
gunshots.
but he was by no means done with the dissing, and after Lil Jeff's death, as he would begin to pay much more attention to his rap career, the dissing would continue on both songs and on social media.
That McNine, yo, what did I just see?
Begin to pay much more attention to his rap career.
That McDonald's on 95th, damn, Nate the best one. They bet not ever close that motherfucker. I seen this shit before. I swear I seen this shit before. They shut that bitch. McDonald's on 95th got bad customer service. I wish somebody closed that motherfucker. Bro.
career, the dissing would continue on both songs and on social media. In his track Splash Bros, released with a music video in July 2024, Q50 raps that since 9-5 Mob want to troll, you should ask them about McDonald's, with this being yet another clear reference to the murder of Bougie, even adding an ad-lib after the bar saying that the McDonald's got closed due to this incident, with this seemingly being prompted by the fact that 9-5 Mob were trolling Jeff after his death. Indeed, amongst other disses, on June the 8th when Jeff was killed, a member of the 9-5 Mob would write a tribute to Bougie on social media, and then, on Jeff's posthumous birthday on the 14th of July, Bougie's brother himself would post on his social media how it's a dead dude.
Nah, do we gotta go back to the emojis to see? Wait.
Birthday, and then writing happy birthday. Q50 would also rap on Splash Bros how he jumps out of the Infinity Q50 make of car to do a hit with his 50-shot magazine, a bar which he's also repeated in other songs. Now, in the case of Bougie's murder, there's no clear indication that this specific model of car was used in the hit, but one of the leads that police would get immediately following the shooting would indeed be the fact that the suspects were driving a white Infinity sedan.
I got some more info for the police, 95th and Lafayette. 2 male blacks jumped back into a white Infinity, last seen going northbound on Lafayette, possible 4 occupants.
No. Q50 would then continue by rapping how he went up 8 bodies and people know he's a real killer, before saying how somebody's mum was in.
Oh, his mama got hit, the type of shit just happened. Damn. People were saying I was vert. Fuck. Okay, I got this. Fuck, I already fucked up. Bloodhound Q50 FTOO. Fuck, I thought I got it right. It might be Bloody Hound. Fuck. I'm trying to get this shit. Come on. Come on. Six picture down. Oh, yep. Got the delivery. Nah, this still really... These motherfuckers is crazy, bro. Like, this shit is like a fucking... a hide and seek, bro. Like, what messages can I decipher from these fucking pictures? That shit is crazy, bro.
The way during a hit, so she got shot too, exactly what had seemingly happened during the murder of Bougie. Then, in August, AMF Visuals' YouTube channel will drop a vlog about shooting a music video for Q50's new song, 762.
What did I miss?
I bet, yeah, I'm like, I know what you're saying, because it's just like, I got you. That's how I looked up, that's how I looked up doing shoot this video. Y'all tell me. Moving around. Let's go. That's how I looked up, I'll be trying for just stiff ass move.
Unfortunately for Q50, this song, among many others, would end up leaking before the official release of the music video, something that would seemingly piss him off a lot, though the song would eventually get an official release in August 2024. In the song, Q50 would make his most direct disses towards Bougie so far, as he raps how Bougie had tried to run and had tripped, and that's why he got killed, before making yet another reference to McDonald's being closed, saying that he doesn't want to work shifts there anyway. Then, in another song by Q50 and Jeff, titled Should Have Ducked, which was leaked soon after, Q50 raps how someone was stealing from the Bloodhounds, so he hopped out broad day and caught that person's friend together with his brother, which seems like yet another reference to Bougie and his brother, with the implication being that someone affiliated with the 9-5 mob may have been stealing something from the Bloodhounds, causing them to retaliate. Although in all fairness, this particular lyric could also reference the much more known double murder of 2 high school students in downtown Chicago that Lil Jeff and the other Bloodhounds have also claimed responsibility for. In any case, the dissing wouldn't stop there, because in yet another leaked song titled Kill Switch, which includes verses from Q50, Jeff, and a Bloodhound affiliated rapper called T-Slick, Q50 aims his disses again directly towards Bougie, saying that when he died, his friends did nothing but a diss song in response. Lil Jeff 2 had previously made a similar remark in his song Tony Montana, released in April 2024, but at the time, it wasn't clear whom he was talking about. The diss that Q50 and Jeff are likely referring to is a little-known song titled Get Even by a 9-5 mob rapper called Mark from 9-5, which was released about a month after Bougie's murder. In the song, Mark raps how they're sliding through the 9, which is likely a reference to the 79th Street that the Bloodhounds claim, before saying how they took a loss and need to get even, which seems to be a clear reference to Bougie. Mark also directly states how they shoot people for Bougie, before saying how they stand over a hound and overkill him, the reference to the Bloodhounds now being crystal clear. He then further continues how the murder of Bougie turned him up, so he's going to slide through the 7-9 and shoot it up, before continuing to explain how another rapper is dead because they hit him up, and then seemingly telling a rapper to stay inside and stop trolling because they know his face. While Q50 wasn't still rapping at the time this song was released, Lil Jeff certainly was, and it just so happens that he had dropped a song and music video titled I Love My Draco together with Vert at the end of November 2022, just 20 days after Bougie's murder, and 15 days before Mark would release his diss. The name of the song I Love My Draco is interesting in its own right, given that one of the guns used in the murder of Bougie was supposedly a rifle, because while a Draco is technically not a rifle, it certainly looks like one, as well as using the same bullets that many assault rifles also use. The music video begins with a clip of Jeff and Vert sliding in traffic, with Jeff using a shirt as a mask while they listen to the song Should Have Ducked by Lil Durk and Pooh Shiesty, with Jeff rapping along to the lyrics about being Mr. Leave No Evidence. The song then starts with the music video showing about a 1-second clip of someone who looks like Q50 holding
the Draco is not necessarily an assault rifle, it's
up a gun to the camera. This music video showing about a 1-second clip of someone who looks like Q50 holding up a gun to the camera. This being one of the very few times that Q50 is actually on camera in the video, as if him showing up at the beginning masked up was simply to send a message. Interestingly, Lil Jeff is also masked up in the video, with the last image that Bougie may have seen before he was gunned down being these two masked up guys running up on him. The video as a whole then is likely explaining why 9-5 Mob may have taken it as Bloodhounds trolling them. Mark would then end the dissing of the Bloodhounds on his song by rapping how they're shooting with switches and another person will be dead on Cottage Grove. This street of course being the largest and busiest street in the Bloodhounds or Drill City's hood, where numerous people have lost their lives. However, despite even 9-5 Mob seemingly admitting that the Bloodhounds were behind this murder, there are also other theories about who might have been responsible. These rumours revolving around 9-5 Mob's more close by ops, such as a set called Nateville and another set called Rack City. All these three sets being very close to each other. The rumours have even caused debates on places like Reddit, where Jeffologists have gotten mad at people for quote unquote trying to discredit his work, which I guess is one way to talk about murders if you've been as prolific in them as Lil Jeff supposedly was. These discreditors have even claimed that they have inside sources who have told them that Rack City was actually behind the murder of Bougie. Rack City are certainly no strangers when it comes to violence, and members of the set were recently charged with a RICO case in connection with the murder of a man named Ogonia Okiki. This murder allegedly being committed by Rack City against none other than 9-5 Mob, which the news report referred to as the Princeton Park GDs. But to be clear, in the end, nobody has seemingly been charged for the murder of Bougie, and thus there is seemingly no credible evidence against either the Bloodhounds or Rack City. But clearly,
his shit he was doing before, there was a lot of like shit that he could put together from YouTube videos, from Reddit, without using it necessarily, and connecting the dots with news articles and shit like that. Like it was a lot of like prominent sources to use other than Reddit. But nowadays it's like a lot of shit is on Reddit, so he has to like build the pictures and put the pictures together with Reddit.
one gang has been GDs. But to be clear, in the end, nobody has seemingly been charged for the murder of Bougie, and thus there is seemingly no credible evidence against either the Bloodhounds or Rack City. But clearly, one gang has been way more eager to claim it than the other. And while it's difficult to say if Bougie's murder is Q50's alleged first one based on his lyrics, it seems to hold a special place in his heart for one reason or another. In any case, what does seem clear based on Q50's lyrics is that going forward, his capacity for violence would only increase. But it wouldn't be his ops who would get hurt, because in 2023, Q50 himself would seemingly come within an inch of his own death.
Not like his videos, especially now. You putting shit together for real. Q50 gets shot at in a murder.
As I discussed in my Lil Jeff video, 2023 is when the violence in the street would seemingly get personal for the young Bloodhounds, particularly Jeff and Q50, as their cousin and beloved Bloodhound member Z Money, real name Zaire Nelson, would be gunned down near his hood while sitting in a car in a parking lot of a dry cleaners. Chi-Town Crime Chasers Facebook page would be at the scene shortly after, filming the police investigating the scene, while in the comments of the video, Q50's mother would react to the footage, clearly personally affected by the death of her cousin. Paying tribute to him, both Jeff and Q50 would get Z Money tattoos at the top of their eyes, as well as a bunch of Z's tattooed on their index fingers, aka trigger fingers. Z Money's murder has never been solved, but it's clear from all the online rumors that the Bloodhounds consider their old friends from Trap City to be behind the hit. This murder now breaking apart the 0679 679 alliance that these two sets had formed over a decade ago. But it's unclear how much Trap City themselves were talking about Z-Money's death publicly on social media at the time, but particularly since Jeff's death, they have become much more emboldened to diss him, with the young Trap City rapper Tero, who's a former good friend of Vert, even making a diss track that he would preview on Instagram, the song including a bar where Tero seems to insinuate that the Bloodhounds had pushed Z-Money out of the car before or after he was shot. Tero, together with two Trap City OGs, OTF Black and iTrap Rob, or Trap City Rob, who the internet has painted as Lil Jeff's killer, would even give an interview to the YouTuber X-Man Rico, where they would insinuate that Trap City had fallen out with Drill City or the Bloodhounds due to someone from that side stealing a chain from one of their members.
It's the way ready. This is why I want the club too. They say his dad from down here, Big J, like that. Big J.
Anybody you got.
Also, his daddy is from down here.
Yeah, fuck used to hang with them. They know what they did.
So okay.
They know what they did.
So okay, the Bloodhounds. Y'all was cool.
Everybody that got a that was my homie. He stole the chain, bro. We tried like he took it. He stole my homie chain.
Who was that? South J or something?
Nah, brother. One of the other guys. This one of the other. This other one. Both letting him wear the J. He come back like he got into a high speed with 12. Line saying he lost it. You know what I'm saying? That's how broke they little shit. You know what you know?
Yeah.
The young Bloodhounds, on the other hand, have implied that Z-Money's killer is locked up, which is why they can't get their hands on him. With the Chiracologists, they're coming to a conclusion that Z-Money's killer must be a Trap City rapper called Lil Cap.
The people still alive because he booked right now. The people who kill Z-Money is still walking this earth. Hey, this tied on my face for no reason. It's tied on this. Hey. Jail saving his ass.
Who even had a song together with Vert and JB Bin Laden from December 2021, where even Lil Jeff makes a quick cameo. The older Bloodhounds too, like Derm, would also still in 2022 promote Lil Cap and Tero's music before things would go all the way left. Moreover, it seems that the young Bloodhounds, including Jeff and Q50, may have even been sliding for Trap City before the falling out. In July 2022, an alleged Trap City member called Buck, or Bucko, was killed during an altercation at a house party in Trap City's hood. While it's unclear what exactly had happened at the house party, it seems that Trap City and the 0679 Alliance took Buck's death hard, and they wanted revenge. In a now deleted music video called Op K by Vert and Jeff, which has only been saved in a reaction video by another YouTuber, Vert begins the song rapping how they had gone sliding after Bucko's death, whilst also shouting out both Jeff and Q50. Then, at the end of his verse, Jeff too raps how he's also sliding for Bucko and that the get back had been quick. However, now the young Bloodhounds were all about getting their revenge for Z-Money, and in the following months they would be associated with several murders in online rumours, one of these taking place only a few weeks later, when a young man called Lil Pooh, real name Pierre Boozer Jr., who was allegedly from the hood of the Flipside set, where Jeff himself grew up, was gunned down in front of his home in April 2023, all the way in the far south side suburb of Sauk Village. After Pooh's death, Jeff would imply both on social media and in his music that Pooh had allegedly dissed Z-Money, and that's why he had lost his life, even seemingly describing waiting for Pooh to return home while laying in the grass of his yard in his song In Your Home that features both Q50 and Vert. Interestingly, Lil Pooh's murder actually connects back to the murder of Bougie, as Lil Pooh's big brother is none other than the 9-5 mob rapper Mark from 9-5. Mark would even make a tribute song to Pooh soon after his death, but this time the song would seemingly have no pointed disses towards any specific set. Now, Mark being Lil Pooh's brother certainly doesn't mean that it was Jeff or other Bloodhounds behind this murder, but it certainly adds another layer to the story, as Pooh had now not only allegedly dissed Z-Money, but had also been deeply associated with people who were in an active war with the Bloodhounds. However, rapper Lou Glock from the Mix Mob set, who is seemingly also related with Lil Pooh, recently called the rumours about the Bloodhounds being behind this murder a total fabrication, calling Lil Jeff and the other Bloodhounds high school musical rappers who haven't killed any gang members in Chatham. Some Redditors have also pointed out how Jeff couldn't have been behind this murder since he grew up on Flipside and was seemingly close with other Flipside members. Indeed, some months after Pooh's murder in June, one member from Flipside's hood would post himself still hanging out with both Jeff and Q50. But a few months after that, the same member would also post how he only associates with people who are really sliding and has no affiliation with any set, before ending the post saying F Flipside. But what makes this case even more confusing is that one of Lil Pooh's supposed close friends from Flipside, who even had Forever Lil Pooh text in his Instagram profile, would seemingly post an earnest tribute to Lil Jeff following his death. However, it seems that since then, this member has actually completely removed the tribute to Lil Pooh from his Instagram profile, which makes it seem like there may be much more going on behind the scenes than drill fans get to see. Anyway, it seems that the death of Z-Money had launched a tidal wave of animosity between the Bloodhounds and anybody who dared come in their way.
So what was the one situation that has occurred in your life that made you say, fuck these niggas?
My homie dad, that's on my face, she's right here.
Z-Money?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was super deep after that.
Everybody after that.
Okay, I see Z Money on his face as well. Y'all share the same tattoo.
No, that.
So this definitely had to be somebody that meant a lot to both of y'all. How long ago was his passing?
May. Was that last May?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A year ago.
No, March. Yeah, March. Yeah, that was March. Last March.
And how did this death affect your mentality, brother?
All I see is red.
However, the Bloodhounds weren't the only ones getting active, and it seems that at some point after Z Money's murder, Q50 himself would become the target of a shooting, apparently getting shot in his leg, as he would mention in the song Coffin, which released with a music video in June 2023. Q50's mother too would seemingly confirm this shooting happened, as she would write in November 2023 to her social media how she had almost lost her son that year. However, at the time, there appeared to be no indication as to who had been behind the shooting. But that would seemingly change when Tero would drop snippets of his Bloodhound diss on his Instagram, with one of the lines of the song seemingly insinuating that it was Trap City who had gotten Q50 shot. Q52 has continued to reference the shooting, insinuating that
Q50 want to keep running his mouth like me and folks and get up with him. Gun sounds.
It was Trap City who had gotten Q50 shot. Q52 has continued to reference the shooting in his recent songs, like on the song 762, which would finally be released with a music video in late August 2024. Q50 first begins the song while rapping how he was still spinning while having a crutch, before later returning to the topic and rapping how the ops had thought that he had died after shooting him until he hopped on Instagram Live. The war between these old friends, Trap City and Drill City, or now the Bloodhounds, was now in full effect. But as those of you who would have seen my Lil Jeff video would know, the next victim in this war would be on Trap City's side, and his death becoming one of Lil Jeff's favourites to claim in his music. On the 25th of June, at around 8:55 PM, a 19-year-old Trap City member called Lil, real name Jaleel Goins, would catch a rideshare car on the 1300 block of West Taylor Street, located in the Little Italy neighbourhood near the University of Illinois Chicago campus, far away from Trap City's hood. But as Lil had sat down in his rideshare car, someone would quickly approach the car on foot, getting next to the rear passenger window, opening fire.
Loomis and Taylor. Loomis and Taylor, we're getting shots fired. Loomis and Taylor, Taylor and Loomis. Caller heard 6 gunshots. Witness male black wearing black clothing shooting into a white vehicle, possibly a Toyota Camry.
After shooting Lil through the car window, the shooter, who apparently had dreads, would seemingly take off running through an alleyway to get away from the scene.
The male black, all black clothing with dreads, running down the alley westbound. Caller didn't see a weapon on him, but there's windows there shut out.
Meanwhile, the rideshare driver would immediately take off, driving Lil to the nearest hospital, which was less than a mile away. But at that time, it would already be too late, as Lil would be pronounced dead upon arriving to the hospital. And the local ABC 7 News would be at the scene later that night and the next morning, interviewing the locals who had witnessed the shooting, with one of them explaining how the police may have counted 8 shots in the car window, but she heard more than 20. This perhaps saying something about the type of gun used in the shooting.
Chicago police investigating a fatal shooting yesterday evening. 19-year-old Jaleel Goins was pronounced dead at Rush University Medical Center, but police and nearby residents tell us the incident began in the 1300 block of West Taylor Street, where Goins was a passenger in a rideshare and was shot, and the rideshare driver drove Goins to the hospital. This woman was outside to meet someone. She tells me she was looking down at her phone, then heard the shots. She thought she had been shot, but she had not.
I'm down there on the ground crying and shaking and stuff. Pow, pow, pow. They said it was like 8 shots. No, I believe it was more than 20.
As for the investigation, Chicago police tell us at this point, no one in custody, no motive.
As I covered in depth in my Lil Jeff video, dissing Lil after his murder would become one of Jeff's favourite pastimes, with Jeff rapping highly incriminating bars like in the track Stretched, where he says he caught someone lacking in a fishbowl, meaning a car with no tints, and saying that Lil looked up like he saw a ghost and he's now dead, as well as rapping that they smoke on Lil in multiple songs. However, Jeff was certainly not the only one, as Q dead, as well was rapping that they smoke on Lil in multiple songs. However, Jeff was certainly not the only one, as Q52 would participate in this dissing with glee, like in the song No Tomorrow, released with a music video in April 2024, where Q50 raps how he calls the latest dead guy from Trap City an Uber pack, and he would continue the dissing in his most recent songs like Make It Far, where he rapped that whoever sent Lil a lift should ask if he made it back, and rapping that he's smoking Lil on the song Scarface, as well as on social media, making posts hinting towards something that Lil Jeff had said on songs, saying that Draco made it so Lil never got out the car. But it would be the song Splash Bros, released with a music video in late July 2024, where he would put out the most revealing bar, rapping how Lil had been killed with 7.62 bullets and mentioning him by name. 7.62 caliber bullets come in many lengths and are used in many different kinds of guns, but they're particularly common bullets for assault rifles, such as the world famous AK-47. However, in drill culture, these bullets have become particularly associated with the Draco, which, as I mentioned before, is in fact technically categorized as a pistol, even though it commonly uses these very same bullets as an AK-47 might, and in fact, it looks a lot more compact than the version of its infamous big brother. But what makes Q50's line about Leal getting killed with these particular bullets noteworthy is the fact that none of the news reports about this murder would seemingly mention anything about the type of gun that was used, nor was this fact mentioned by the popular Spot News Twitter account that reports on crime in Chicago based on police radio activity, which Jeff and Q50 have even mentioned many times in their songs. However, as police patrols arrived at the murder scene and in the hospital where Leal had been taken, they would not only find Leal to have a 9mm pistol on him, but they would indeed find what an officer would describe as rifle shell casings on the ground where the shooting had happened.
Here's a unit of the hospital, what type of weapon it is. We got rifle shell casings over here on Taylor.
1263 Adam?
Ours looks like a Springfield XD, possibly 9mm. We haven't touched it.
They're saying it's a possible 9mm.
That person was in the car with their handgun, but we had a second shooter out here on the street with a rifle.
Alright, so there's a second shooter over there with a rifle. Alright, 10-4.
Now this of course doesn't mean that Q50 took part in this murder, but it wasn't exactly a secret that Jeff in particular was very fond of using the Draco, to the point where he would even get the nickname King Drake. Yet knowing how Q50 likes to seemingly insert real details from real crimes into his lyrics, it's certainly interesting that he would get this fact seemingly correct, and the blasé attitude that he had to wrap such details that only the shooters would know is possibly a prime example of self-snitching. But still, it could be a coincidence. But whatever the case may be, it would only be a few months later when the next gruesome shooting would take place, that Q50 is commonly referenced in his songs, the target of this shooting being a much older member of Trap City.
Oh, Glenn.
As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, one of the more outrageous bars that Q50 has dropped in his recent solo songs is from the song Splash Bros, where he raps how he shot someone 10 times and that Jeff shot them 5 times before literally dropping the name of their victim as an ad-lib, this name being Glenn. Once again, this bar appears to be a reference to a real shooting that took place, the victim of this shooting seemingly being an alleged member of Trap City named Glendale. Glendale, or Glenn, is actually very close and maybe even related with perhaps the most well-known member of Trap City, the alleged killer of Lil Jeff, Trap Rob, or Trap City Rob, who the internet has painted.
Like that? Rob always be like, look at his face, bro.
Trap City, the alleged killer of Lil Jeff, Trap Rob, or Trap City Rob, who the internet has painted as being the man who fired the shots from the porch that took Jeff's life. On Thursday, the 31st of August, 2023, at around 2 p.m, Glenn was at a Clark gas station on the intersection of 67th and Eberhart, which is located in Trap City's hood. While seemingly standing at the gas station, someone would approach him and begin shooting, hitting him numerous times.
I'm getting a call for your person shot, 517-867 at the Clark, and double check and let me know.
We'll check right now.
Says it's a guy laying on the ground shot. They hung up before any more info. 363 David around 67 at Eberhart got available at shot multiple times.
X-ray 323, I got a name for our victim on 67th Street.
X-ray 323, go with your person shot from 67 info.
First name Glendale. That's George, Lincoln, Eddie, Nora, David, Adam, Lincoln, Eddie. Date of birth is gonna be.
Bro, my dumbass was like, damn, that's a long ass fucking name. They got like 7 names for they shit. I ain't gonna lie, they license gotta be crazy. But I suppose Glendale.
Nora, David, Adam, Lincoln, Eddie. Date of birth is gonna be.
Serious, clockwise this time.
Damn, you got 7 names.
This was another violent day in Chicago, and in the Woodlawn neighborhood alone, 4 people got shot, including a 4-year-old boy, but thankfully, everyone would seemingly survive. Already the next day, Glenn would post on his social media thanking everyone who had checked on him after the shooting. Then a few days later, he would also send a message to everyone that wanted to see him dead, this message likely being pointed particularly towards the Bloodhounds in Drill City, who had previously been close with Trap City, but now wanted them dead. Some months would pass, but then in December 2023, Lil Jeff and Vert would release the song Stretched, together with a music video. Lil Jeff begins his verse by saying how he caught someone lacking at the store and shot him 5 times, after which someone who he calls his cuz gave him 10 more. Notably, the amount of shots mentioned by Jeff is the exact same that Q50 would later say in the song Splash Bros, with Q50 of course being Jeff's actual cousin. It's also worth noting that the Clark gas station where Glenn was shot indeed has a small snack and grocery store. And once again, the dissing would continue a few months later in March 2024, when Jeff, together with JB Bin Laden, would drop a music video for their song Run But Can't Hide, and in his verse, Jeff once again mentions shooting someone outside of a store, this time specifying that this was in broad daylight and that his switch had made his victim use the stop, drop and roll technique that's taught to kids in case their clothes catch on fire. After Jeff's death, Q50 would join in on the Glenn disses too, with one of his first direct mentions of Glenn in fact being in Jeff's song In Your Home that featured both Q50 and Vert, which was released as part of Jeff's posthumous album Stepping in Blood. And in his verse, Q50 raps how they're going to spin and spin on their ops blocks and how he left a person on the floor before specifying that he's talking about Glenn. And then, in his first solo song after after Jeff's death, titled Make It Far, Q50 raps how he's up 8 hats, meaning bodies, but would have been up 10 if 2 of his victims hadn't survived, one of these victims seemingly being Glenn. In fact, Q50 would spin back to reference his 2 victims who got away in the song 762, but this time saying their names, rapping how he would have been up 10 bodies if it wasn't for Glenn and a person named Spoonie surviving. But perhaps the wildest reference that seemingly is about the Glenn shooting is in the song Splash Bros. And I'm not even talking about him mentioning Glenn by name, because later in that song, Q50 raps how you should have seen his victim's face trying to eat chips when Q50 bailed out of a Nissan Maxima. And as it just so happens, the car used by the suspects in Glenn's shooting was indeed that very car model, a Nissan Maxima, with the police even getting the license plate number for that car, but the plates would turn out to be stolen from another vehicle.
For 67th and Everhard, they fled in a gray Nissan, unknown direction.
Gray Nissan fled unknown direction.
Yes, but we have a plate for that gray Maxima Nissan. It's gonna be Frank Paul.
Bro, it's like I only knew certain parts of Q50 shit, like of what he talks about in his music. So I'm like, there's like a lot of like pieces where I'm like, I don't know what the maximum mean. I don't know what I gave him 10. Jeff gave him 5. I don't know what that means. I didn't even know who Glenn was for real. This shit is crazy though. What
last thing going southbound on Everhard.
Last thing southbound on Everhard.
Every bar means something.
Well, that Frank Paul one comes back to a blue 2022 Toyota, okay?
These are some absolutely wild references to a seemingly real attempted murder case, but once again, it appears that nobody's been arrested, and thus there is seemingly no real evidence to tie anybody to the shooting. Interestingly, after the security video of Jeff's killing would go viral, people on Reddit would begin to track down who was the infamous Yellow Shorts, who Jeff had been trying to shoot down when he was caught off guard.
I thought that was Glenn.
With some people actually claiming the Yellow Shorts.
Oh my god. That's why it never made sense to me, because I thought Yellow Shorts was Glenn, and it was like Jeff. I gave him 10. I'm like, Q50 gave him 10. Jeff gave him 5. It looked like Jeff gave him way more than fucking 5, so it didn't make sense to me. What the fuck?
To have been none other than Glenn.
Yo, that makes so much, bro. Because it's like they missed the first time, so we gonna stake out the crib to try to get him that second time. And that second time ended up being just last drill. That is... Yo, that is crazy.
Glenn himself, with Jeff then allegedly spinning back almost a year later to try and finish the job. However, there is still seemingly no facts about exactly who the Yellow Shorts actually was, with even the person that Lil Jeff's alleged killer, iTrap Rob, would claim to be him. This is a guy called Man or Mainski, seemingly turning out not to be the actual Yellow Shorts. But the crazed chiracologist would get so confused about the mystery of who was wearing the Yellow Shorts that day that they would even confuse Glenn and Man to be the same person. Other people have thought the Yellow Shorts to be a man called Trey, who would post himself with Lil Jeff's
That's definitely not him. He's too skinny.
Alleged killer iTrap Rob only a few days after Jeff's death. But astonishingly, Trey is an actual blood brother of Jeff's very close friend and Bloodhound member Vert. This would certainly put Vert in an unbelievably difficult and uncomfortable position after his friend Jeff was killed by friends of a blood relative. But whether Trey was the Yellow Shorts or not, it's clear that Vert's relationship with his big brother is probably not what it used to be, as Trey would not only pose with Jeff's alleged killer for photos just a few days after his death, but also dissing Jeff in that same post, with this prompting Vert himself to hop on his brother's comments and diss either him, Rob, or both of them. Anyways, about a month after the shooting of Glenn, the luck would seemingly turn for Q50 momentarily, as in late September, he was apparently arrested by the Chicago police for several serious charges, including a UUW, or unlawful use of a weapon, and another UUW for an automatic weapon or machine gun. There's been much confusion about his arrest online, as Q50 would be arrested a second time in 2024, with this arrest that time seemingly happening outside the city limits of Chicago, which is likely why that arrest can only be found on Cook County Sheriff's website, not on CPD's, and also why his court location is marked as Skokie, which is outside of Chicago. However, the Cook County website does not list the charges that Q50 was arrested for, therefore we don't know what his most recent charges are yet. But what we do know is that after the reported 2023 arrest, Q50 would seemingly already be released just a few days later, and he would return right back to the streets to cause even more havoc.
Damn, this shit is crazy, man. The shooting of Slide, fuck!
As I discussed in depth in my Lil Jeff video, in early 2024, Lil Jeff, together with several other accomplices, would allegedly commit two of their most highly publicized murders, killing two high school students named Monterio Williams and Robert Boston, also known as Monty and Lil Rob, after Monty had allegedly stolen some jewelry from Jeff. These teens were all the way from the west side, but attended a high school in downtown Chicago, where they would be gunned down in a brutal assassination-style attack immediately after leaving their school. And a few weeks later, Lil Jeff would drop his most popular song, titled Ah, the music video for the song now being at 4 4 million views, with the whole song appearing to be dedicated as a diss song towards these two slain teens, with Jeff essentially laying out the details of these murders for the whole world to hear. The popularity of this song would push Lil Jeff's rap career to the next level, and seemingly pushed him to amp up his already out of control antics on social media. Ironically, one of Lil Jeff and Q50's favorite hobbies was seemingly robbing people of their jewelry.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was listening to this shit. Like, they was talking about the Bretto situation where he took Bretto's watch and shit. That shit happened outside the club, bro. I don't know which one. I ain't do my research that deep, but I was just listening to the music and shit. They was like, damn, we catching people outside the club, shit like that, while they drunk. I'm like, damn.
Social media. Ironically, one of Lil Jeff and Q50's favorite hobbies was seemingly robbing people of their jewelry, and in early May, they would once again catch a new lick, proudly showing their bounty off on social media, with Lil Jeff's hand and his new allegedly stolen watch still having blood on it from seemingly bleating up or shooting their victim. The victim would turn out to be a man called 6300 Bretto, who Jeff and Q50 would out during one of their many Instagram lives.
I'm gonna show y'all who just got his ass. That nigga mad. It wasn't him, but it was his number. I'm gonna show y'all.
Yeah.
It's him right here.
It was couple other shit.
He ain't had none of this. What a burst was that? Man, look, we exposing this.
Damn.
Show that bitch. We got an AP already, Skull. I'm having my way in Chicago, Illinois.
Hey man, get the people that.
They should never been trying to kick it down the line of green. That's it, $10. It cost him his whole hustle career. Everything he worked hard for.
Q50 would later also talk about this event in his songs, like the song Make It Far, where he raps how they smacked both Bretto and his girlfriend when they robbed him. Bretto is associated with a set called TMC, located on the west side near Marquette Park. This set also having a rapper called TMC Slide, who had been putting out music for several years. Soon, after the alleged robbery, Bretto would go on Instagram Live several times together with his TMC friends like Slide and another rapper called Nutso, seemingly in an effort to save face after this debacle.
Tell them count that up. Screenshot that. Tell them screenshot.
Top dress is crazy.
Up $1. Screenshot that.
Oh,
hey,
man.
don't forget this.
I actually took a screenshot.
Over good. Yeah. Open them. Put them in there. Look what we live out. Hey, oh my God.
I done made it.
Damn, this 93 views.
Go there.
Yeah, here now.
What they doing for the gram?
Plus, you know my bag long. I told Dr. Trust, throw you damn long. Oh, turn down. Suck that bird down. I'm seeing how much clan out. Lay the whole clan down. Leave him with his pants down.
Jeff, Q50 and the Bloodhounds now had a brand new beef on their hands, and just like how things had seemingly gone down with Monty and Rob, things would escalate again very quickly, and just about a week later, something would seemingly happen to TMC Slide, with Q50 hopping on social media to declare that Slide was now deleted and out of the picture. Jeff would even go on Instagram Live around this time, saying that he was now up 11 bodies. However, this would seemingly be around the same time when an alleged member of the 8 Trey mob called Baby KD, real name Khalil Dunbar, would also be killed, and he too would get associated with being one of Jeff's victims in online rumors, but Lil Jeff's live saying he had 11 bodies could seemingly be claiming either one of these people.
Hold your wrist up. Hey, when he play this, y'all know the I'm on my toes. 10 million on him. He got his soul. I wanna bust his toe. 2 AP, don't play with him. Feed his ass. Yeah, he wanna. That shit pretty, man. That's 11. You're gonna be 8 and I'ma scan your scary ass to hell.
However, in Slide's case, there would be confusion about what exactly had happened and whether or not Slide was even dead, with Jeff even making a post saying, "Is he dead or alive?" before saying that he knows the truth, but the ops don't want to tell, as well as saying, "Pull the plug," making it seem as if Slide was perhaps only being kept alive with the help of life support. However, Slide would then seemingly return to his social media, posting how he was out of the country on a holiday in the Dominican Republic and telling people to stop calling his phone. However, based on his social media, it seemed like this trip had likely been all the way back in March 2024. But still, someone would also go live on his Instagram account, seemingly whilst being somewhere with palm trees. But interestingly, this person would never show their face to the camera.
It's a clone, it's a ghost. Y'all ain't talking about yeah, this Glide, this the clone. This Slide V2. Y'all first one up, number.
Y'all fucked the first one up. It's crazy.
Let me pin your comment, cause you a goofy. Right. They talking about Slide got killed. Slide this, slide that. Slide is on live right now. Out the country. You broke ass ain't got a passport. What the f are you talking about? Yeah, so y'all did something to who?
Meanwhile, Jeff would keep trolling Slide, going live from LA where he was on a trip with Vert and Lil Scoom, saying how he hadn't heard from Slide since he had crashed into a building, this seemingly being one of the first clues about what had actually happened to him, as well as once again saying to pull the plug on his life support.
I ain't heard from that Slide, man, since he crashed into that crib, man. Life got brought from life support. I say, all my pain, keep me going. Slide getting annoying. I just want to see them pull the plug. I want to see them go from life support. They don't respect me no more. They don't love me no more. They ain't feeling my song. Is he dead or alive? I don't know what I'm lying. Cause you know that he died. But they steady lying. They keep trying to keep it quiet. The other side. Know that I'm gonna slide. Know I'm down the ride. They pop my pants, man, he ain't there. I'm in the sky. I'm in LA right now.
At the end of May, Q50 would once again post on his story saying that people are delusional and they should stop acting like Tupac is still alive. He would also update his body count, saying on a Facebook post how he's now up 8, whilst back in March 2024, his kill count had still been at 7. At the time, it wouldn't get me clear if he was referring to KD or Slide, but this would seemingly change when Q50 would drop the song Make It Far, where he raps how he now has 8 bodies, even though people are still trying to claim his last victim as alive, with this being a rather obvious reference to Slide. In June, Vert 2 would join in on dissing Slide, posting a story on his IG, asking Slide to post a picture or something to prove that he's still alive and well. However, once again, Slide's Instagram account would come back to life as someone would post a story asking why people think he's dead, as well as pointing out that no media outlet such as the legal help firm Facebook page that posts a lot of people that have been killed in Chicago had posted anything about Slide. However, someone would comment on a post about Slide's social media posting that his sister knows Slide's family and that he was indeed fighting for his life, and that it was in fact Slide's brother who was using his Instagram account. And then, as Q50 would begin posting more music around July 2024, as well as many of his songs getting leaked, there would be an abundance of new Slide disses dropping too. In the song Splash Bros, he would rap about how Slide had seemingly gotten shot a month ago, and that since then he hadn't been talking. This song then likely having been made around mid-June. In his next officially released song First Day Out, Q50 would claim that Slide had gotten shot before crashing his car, and in a leaked song with Lil Scoom, titled Bad Boy, he would seemingly reveal that Slide had gotten shot with a 10mm.
Bro, who the fuck used this picture of Q50, bro? Like, come on, bro. This is a fake picture, bro.
And in a leaked song with Lil Scoom, titled Bad Boy, he would seemingly reveal that Slide had gotten shot.
That was on the, what's it called? That was on the album.
With a 10mm pistol. And while in another leaked song titled Scarface, together with the Philly rapper Hood Tali, he would make perhaps his most revealing claim, rapping how the trenches know who had shot Slide, before saying how the fact that people are claiming that he's still alive is really bothering him. Meanwhile, members of TMC would do a Hood vlog with On a Couch TV, where they would also comment on Slide's current situation, seemingly admitting that he had indeed gotten shot, but also saying that he's still alive and doing good, as well as implying that the Bloodhounds just like to troll about everything.
Yeah, speaking on that too, like recently it been a lot of controversy over somebody named Slide from TMC. The fans wanted me to ask y'all like what's up with that, because they see him posting on Instagram, but a lot of people be trolled.
Bro, Chicago be so weird because like out west you see all this greenery, these fucking newly paved sidewalks, this nice ass house, bro.
Look, let me say something. Look, steady.
What? Brandon Buckingham is doing a vid with 50 in a week. Go to comments. Yo.
Bringing up Slide name, cause look, folks up, dog.
Oh my god. I did see this actually. He was like, wish me luck, yeah. In 2 weeks, I'm going to film with Q50 and Vert. Wish me luck. Great video, Ross. I seen that shit when I liked it. I liked it right when it came out. That's crazy.
A lot of different. They ain't got else to do. You see what I'm saying? So they ain't got as much money as folks. They ain't deal with folks and did. You feel me?
Yeah, cause I even seen a video on YouTube, but I'm going live. I'm like,
look, they gonna keep bringing folks' name up, folks. They gonna keep doing all type of. But folks good though. Ain't nothing wrong with folks. Folks good though.
Yeah, that's that scooter.
That's what I'm saying. We in Chicago, bro. Everybody get shot, bro. Everybody get shot. Bro, my kid, everybody don't got 400,000-500,000.
What happened to they homies though? They troll Slide, but they homies is dead on folks. Like, come on, gang.
Just be clowns, man.
Folks still alive, breathing,
talking.
talking.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm surprised 50 ain't never did a what's it called? A 16 shot any type of interviews. Like No Jumper. Damn, DJU.
Homies can't do none of that type of
any of them, bro.
And so at that point, you
I don't know if
like
he's just not PR trained or what.
They probably geek people up out of.
got these people brains, man.
The internet got these. The internet got these whole mind f***ed up, bro. These do anything. Why did you stay speaking on name on internet anyway? Like, why is you on the internet doing all that? We don't overdo that, please. I don't be trolling. I don't do that, bro. I don't be trolling. I don't even play like that.
I'm trolling that. We gonna keep that last
nah, baby, bro, we over trolling.
Yeah, the Bando KD shit. Who else was that? Who else got locked up right after that? Dude, damn, bro, I forget who that was. But there was like 2 people already. Like after they No Jump interview, less than like a week or 2 later, bro. Bro, I just watched that Bando KD interview like a day before he got locked up too. That was the crazy part about it.
Look, I don't be really, playing with these.
After all this time, it's still not clear what had happened to Slide, and news reports and even platforms like Spot News seem to have gotten very little information that would help clarify this mystery. Moreover, Slide's friends and even family appear to be completely radio silent on social media when it comes to his current situation, although what can probably be inferred is that Slide is likely facing some kind of life-altering injury. But while the Bloodhounds were still gleefully trolling Slide and implying that they were behind his sudden disappearance, they too would suddenly experience 2 enormous losses back-to-back, losing both of their biggest rappers in a very short span of time during the bleak summer of 2024.
The deaths of Lil Jeff and Lil School.
After spending 3 years waging war in Trap City and beyond, and after allegedly claiming the lives of 11 people, unfortunately for the Bloodhounds, in early June the now infamous day would come when Lil Jeff would lose his life while once again sliding on his most personal rivals, Trap City, and getting gunned down by an unknown person whilst chasing the man wearing yellow shorts into a house. Now, if you want the full breakdown of the death of Lil Jeff, go and check out the full documentary I made about his life.
But
as already mentioned in the intro, Q50 was allegedly right there with Jeff, with the surveillance video allegedly capturing him casually shooting into the car that would attempt to exit the scene just as the shooting began. That car was driven by a woman who would then seemingly contact the police after crashing her car about 2 miles drive away from the scene.
I gotta use you for this covert mission because we got a victim saying that she was shot at 6-7 in Rhodes. Her car is damaged. I'm trying to see what unit from 7 is sitting over with her. She's at 6-7 in Halstead right now. I'm trying to get more information from her. They gonna take the crash because she crashed at 6-7 in Halstead, but they need a car over there to verify that she was involved in the shooting or not.
The woman would seemingly also tell police that she had witnessed the shooting and that she was willing to cooperate with them.
321, you want us to take her to 3 or public questionnaire or what do you guys want us to do?
Take her to the station.
She said she did witness the shooting, right?
She saw people that jumped off the vehicle and she was there when it happened.
Did you want her to take her up to 3, this witness? Because she did witness the shooting and she's cooperating.
I mean, if she's cooperating, then I'm assuming her car doesn't work at the moment because of the accident.
321, is that correct? Her vehicle's not working?
All right, so if they just want to bring her back here, we can grab everything that we need, and then maybe we can get her a ride home if she needs one, then that's not a problem.
Meanwhile, Q50 and the other Bloodhounds would allegedly take Jeff's body to a nearby hospital, where Q50 would allegedly be captured by the security camera in the same outfit from the drill, carrying Jeff with another man who couldn't be identified. But there was nothing to be done, and Jeff would already be dead on arrival.
Yeah, last name gonna be Harris Jeffrey, July 12, 2002.
That's the DOA?
Yeah.
The fate of the man
Jeffrey.
Born July
12, 2002.
That's the DOA?
Yeah.
The fate of the man wearing the yellow shorts, on the other hand, was seemingly unclear, even for the police, at least immediately following the shooting, as there appeared to be confusion whether there even was a second person shot or not.
If I'm not mistaken, the second person shot has nothing to do with us. We only got the one GSW that just became a 0110.
Okay, do you guys know where it originated at, so like it's in the district car, or it's not for CPD?
When I talked to my car that was at the hospital earlier, they said that there was another officer there, but I can confirm for you and see if they make sure that there's an actual officer there for that second GSW.
Okay, Temper, I haven't gotten any more calls from the hospital, but Providence is calling now as well. They want to know what we're doing with the car for my first person shot. Says it's still there, blocking traffic.
All right. So the GSW to the chest, clearly that's the current one that we're on, that 324 has for the paper. The other victim was our GSW from earlier from Provident, and then they transported themselves again to UFC. Apparently he walked off and didn't want help. That is that gentleman's car that is left at Providence. He wanted nothing to do with it. He just walked away from us. He wanted no services at all. And then the paper car from that, which is 13, they're going to see if they have maybe a number from somebody who was unseen. They don't know if they do. But other than that, the car was released per the detectives. The car is not blocking because I was able to drive past it.
But after Jeff's death, the Bloodhounds would react on social media, with Vert saying how he'll cry later, while seemingly implying that now was time for revenge.
But I ain't gonna lie, bro. Right after that shooting, bro, like, bro, Jeff's comments were turned off damn near immediately. That's how people knew it was Jeff, like, so fast.
While Lil Scoom would post how Lil Jeff's death didn't even feel real, Q50 meanwhile would make several social media posts in the days following Jeff's death, seemingly saying how Jeff had told him that the gang life wasn't going to do nothing but turn him worse, and that he's done crying and will do what Jeff had told him to do. But whether this meant doing music and getting rich, or continuing sliding on the ops, is unclear. Q50 would also say how he and Jeff had done everything together, from girls to robbing to seemingly killing people, and that he's built for this life and will perform for Jeff, as well as making a truly telling post saying how Jeff had died just how he wanted to, chasing his ops. A few weeks later, it would be time for Jeff's funeral, where the Bloodhounds, Drill City, and their affiliates would seemingly be in full attendance, including people like Vert, Scoom, JB Bin Laden, MTV Cash, and the NLMB rapper Big Op. Soon after, Jeff's posthumous album Stepping in Blood would drop, with guys like G Herbo, who would also feature on the album, posting a tribute to Jeff. The album would also drop through Herbo's good friend and fellow NLMB veteran Lil Bibby's Grade A Productions label, foreshadowing how Q52 would eventually sign with the same label. But meanwhile, the Bloodhounds' biggest ops, Trap City, who had allegedly just killed one of the Bloodhounds' most important members in self-defense, would begin to understand that the limelight was also on them now, and they would begin to engage in the beef much more publicly. Spearheaded by the alleged Lil Jeff Killer and the leader of the new Unk Gang movement against the young pill-snorting street demons, I-Trap Rob, who despite being much more mature and peace-pushing in his overall message, would also post how he can't wait until all the Bloodhounds are dead. One of the alleged Yellow Shorts candidates, Man or Mainski, would post how they stood
the Yellow Shorts candidates, bro. They really don't know.
All the Bloodhounds are dead. One of the alleged Yellow Shorts candidates, Man or Mainski, would post how they stood on business for his little brother, which is likely a reference to Lil, but also saying how they won't stop until the rest of the Bloodhounds are dead. The same message would also appear to be echoed by the young Trap City rapper Tero, who would even release a song with a music video titled Dead Troll, with that title being an obvious reference to Lil Jeff. And in the song, Tero raps how someone thought he was bulletproof but died off the first shot, and that their ops better fall in line because the last guy who tried to slide didn't make it, as well as saying that the dummy died on the hit and calling him Bugs Bunny. Tero would also post a story on his Instagram about how he wants all the Bloodhounds gone and how people's favorite rapper is now pending, which would likely be a reference to Q50 in particular, because about a month after Jeff's death, in early July, Q50 would begin his now much more serious solo rap career, dropping the music video for his new song, Make It Far. The song would start with an audio recording of Jeff seemingly dissing Lil, with Q50 repeating the same lines about the Draco making sure his ops didn't make it out the car. The song would open with what would become Q50's most infamous lyric, where he openly claims to have killed 8 people, rapping, "They like, damn 50, is you really up 8 hats? I would have been up 10, 2 of them ain't check." And the song would be laced wall to wall with violent bars where Q50 would refer to various ops by name, many of those lyrics having been mentioned earlier in this video. The song had a booming yet haunting beat, which was the exact kind of aggressive but laid back style that fans of Jeff and the Bloodhounds were now fiending for. Make It Far would quickly garner hundreds of thousands of views in just days.
Bro,
today it's past 1 million.
I'm not gonna lie, bruh. When I react to that shit, I wasn't really expecting that. I reacted to that shit like a day or two, maybe like a day or two after it dropped, for real. Like, even when you had no motion, I had like 20K or some shit. I'm like, damn, this is really good, for real. And then this just took off after that.
Million views in less than 2 months. This being something that even Lil Jeff wasn't able to do whilst he was alive, showing that Q50 was now the leading rapper from the Bloodhounds, and also showing that Jeff's death and the infamy that followed as people would learn about his story was now pushing the popularity of Q50's music to completely new levels. Q50 was also clearly making more effort on the mic, and the overall production quality had improved greatly from his first songs. However, despite Q50 grabbing the torch from Jeff as the most lit rapper affiliated with the Bloodhounds, unfortunately, only a few days later, the Bloodhounds would experience another enormous loss, this being one of the other most buzzing rappers associated with their block, as their close friend and affiliate Lil Scoom would be gunned down around midnight on the 7th of July, a few hours after seemingly visiting a house on the 700 block of 89th Place, which is located about an 11-minute drive west from Lil Scoom's hood at 89th and Burley, the house also being close to the old Burnside stomping grounds of Lil Jeff. A security camera footage of this visit would later get leaked online, showing an annoyed and perhaps somewhat nervous looking Scoom arriving on the porch of the house house, together with a male friend and 2 other people. One of these being a woman who attempts to let them in the house without seemingly having the keys. If the time on the camera is correct, this would have been around 9:21 p.m. Then, at around 11:50 p.m, the police would get an alert of shots fired near the house that Scoom had apparently visited.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, they said Scoom was getting his hair done by somebody. Someone was there and gave the drop, and then he walked out. Boom, that's what happened. And this shit got leaked, and then it's like, bro, like, they saying the people that shot Scoom and killed him, they got in a shootout with the cops and still got away. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on, bro? Like, bro, there's no, like, details on, like mapped out fucking what actually happened.
We're getting 24 rounds, 655 East 89th Place, multiple shooter, high capacity, and the second shot spotter for an additional 7 rounds at the same address, all coming from the side of the building.
Soon after, the police would get notified of a man with gunshot wounds sitting in an Uber about a 0.8-mile drive away from the scene. This person, who would turn out to be the friend of Lil Scoom, would tell the police that there's another person shot at the scene of the shooting. However, this is where events turn somewhat strange, because as the officers would seemingly arrive at the scene of the shooting about 6 minutes after getting the first notifications of shots fired, at least one suspect would seemingly still be at the scene and would begin to shoot in the direction of police before running away.
4264 squad, just confirming, do we have a location where that person was shot?
Is that even tell you map?
Charlie, just watch the 6 5. Just, try to please.
10-1-89 in St. Lawrence, shots fired at the police. 89 in St. Lawrence, shots
About
fired at
700 East 89th Place. 700 East 89th Place. 10-1, they're shooting at the police.
10-1, they're shooting at the police. 700 East 89th Place, they're shooting at the police. Need more cars over there. 700 East 89th Place, they're shooting at the police. 10-1.
And anytime police get shot at, there will generally be numerous patrol units arriving at the scene shortly. And this was seemingly no exception, as more police cars would immediately be sent to that location. Unfortunately, soon after this, the police would find Scoom laying on the ground near the possible location of the house seen in that security footage, with several gunshot wounds to his chest.
6-4, we have another person shot over here.
Alright, what is a good address?
727 East 89th Place.
727 East 89th Place for a person shot. We'll get the ambulance rolling.
We got a male, black. He's unresponsive.
The police would then begin a systematic search of the area to find the suspect or suspects who had just taken off.
630 Adam.
630 Adam.
So while let's set up a perimeter, let's have everybody get 3 to 4 blocks north, south, east, and west, and do a systematic search.
But then things would keep getting stranger, as the police were then notified that the possible suspect was still on the same street, only about 0.1 miles away from the shooting scene, reloading his gun in front of a building.
And for the unit
What?
For the 10-1, we got another call for the
What?
10-1 at 619 East 89th Place. That a male black with a white do-rag, dark sweatshirt.
What is bro doing? Did he get left?
Building, reloading. He shot at the police. So you guys use caution for 619 East 89th Place.
How did he get away?
The male black reloading a gun per citizen wearing a dark sweatshirt with a white do-rag on his
Buddy
head.
going to war. A white do-rag on his head. What the fuck? White? Why are you wearing white on a drill? And why the fuck is you... I ain't gonna lie, bro. Having bullets in your fucking, like... in your pocket, let me just reload these bitches while I'm shooting at the fucking cops is crazy, bro. What is going on?
Standing in the doorway, 619 East 89th Place.
Now, one would think that with all the police seemingly now at the scene, surely this suspect would be arrested promptly, but this was not the case,
It's
and the
fucking
police
Chicago.
were still not able to capture him,
This
and they
shit
would
is
continue
GTA
combing
server.
through the area, where they would soon locate bullet cartridges at the shooting scene, with at least some of these being rifle rounds, likely indicating that this had been an orchestrated attack, and not, for example, a sudden
A red
argument
tracksuit
leading to a shooting.
Charlie, we got
That wasn't him,
in the intersection of 89th and Langley, and there's also rifle rounds in front of
Crazy.
652 East 89th Place, just for officer safety.
The police would also find out that Scoom and his friend had been able to get in an Uber before the shooting began, with the friend seemingly being able to escape in the Uber, while Scoom would unfortunately not be as lucky, as he would later pass away at the University of Chicago Medical Center, the same hospital where Jeff had been taken.
Hey squad, these 2 people that were shot are in relation from the same area where the shots at the police were. They were picked up by Uber at 701 East 89th Street, so be careful in that area as well.
Meanwhile, more calls would keep coming in. There now also being sightings of multiple suspects who had been wearing ski masks right next to the house that Scoom and his friend had seemingly visited, as well as sightings of 2 of the suspects chasing someone on the street.
Alright, the description that we got for that 619 East 89th Place was a male black with a white do-rag, dark sweatshirt, standing in the doorway of the building. And then we got a second call, 701 East 89th Place, for 3 males outside with black Durango, near a black Durango, wearing ski masks, one hand on a gray shirt.
What time did that call with the Durango and the 3 guys come out?
We got that one, one at 2352 for the Durango and the 3 guys, and then we got
This
another
shit
call
is
for
crazy.
E7 and Cottage that just came out, at 3 minutes after midnight. This one said that there was 2 guys with 1 gun. They were chasing someone, a male black wearing all white had the gun. The other male black had on a tracksuit. They ran towards Cottage, 731 East 89th Place. The offenders were standing there. One with the gun was wearing all white.
10-4 was most likely the one that got direction of the police.
What the fuck is he going to a wedding?
The black tracksuit and the 1 male wearing all white were most likely offenders that were shooting at the police. They were last seen at 731 East 89th Place per a citizen that called this in.
Some time would pass and the police would...
Nah, the Nene shit is like... Because, like, bro, the ring camera was from 2 hours before the shooting took place. So did that have anything to do with fucking school? Were they getting trailed? What? Why the fuck were they in the...
Then get information from a witness that a car was circling the area, with someone yelling from the car, possibly looking for the suspects in order to pick them up. The location of this sighting once again being only around cars, and the police would then...
East 89th Place per a citizen that called this in.
Some time would pass and the police would then get information from a witness that a car was circling the area, with someone yelling from the car, possibly looking for the suspects in order to pick them up. The location of this sighting once again being only around 1.1 miles away from where Scoom had been found, and the behavior of the driver perhaps indicating that this may have...
Okay. That makes sense. I was saying, like, did he get left? Is that why he was still there 6 minutes after the shooting? That's what happened. But how? Why?
Only happened after the suspects had shot at the police and ran away from the scene.
Yeah, we were walking around the alley. We heard somebody scream, came out. Witnesses told me that at the 700 block of 90th Street, black car just came, screamed, and then...
How are they able to do that with police presence? They said 3-4 blocks, north, south, east, west, wherever. How the fuck is they still being able to yell at the car and y'all not pulling that bitch over?
700 block of 90th Street, black car just came, screamed, and then continued driving. So possibly looking for our offenders, trying to pick them up or something, so keep an eye out.
Alright, 10-4. Alright, for the units I'm seeing over there, X-ray 642 per citizen was walking around the alley near the 700 block of 90th Street. There's a black sedan that's circling the area, screaming out, I guess possibly looking for the offenders to try and pick them up, guys, so use caution.
But even with all of this information, no suspects would be captured and the case seemingly remains open. However, in online rumors, certain people have been connected to the case, particularly a girl called Nene, who some claim to be the 4th person in the porch video who can be seen looking at their phone behind the others. Soon after Scoom's death, screenshots would begin to be posted on sites like Reddit, seemingly showing the girl whose house Scoom had been in, exposing Nene for setting Scoom up, saying how Scoom had come to her to get his hair done, seemingly accompanied by his friend and that girl Nene, who had then allegedly behaved weirdly, sneaking off into the bathroom to allegedly text Scoom's killers. Screenshots would also be posted allegedly showing how Nene was scared for her life now and planning to leave Chicago, and not long after, there would be an update of Nene...
I just don't know how like accurate this is, because I've seen so many crazy shit, like Nene's fucking mom died, all types of shit, like they was like going crazy.
How Nene was scared for her life now and planning to leave Chicago, and not long after there would be an update of Nene allegedly posting herself on an aeroplane with the caption "New Life." However, not everyone on Reddit was buying this theory, and some would argue that Nene was only being used as a scapegoat to distract from the real perpetrators. Other rumors about the murder seem to place the blame particularly on a set called Risky Road, who were located around 104th and Maryland in the North Pullman neighborhood and the far south side area. This is in fact the hood where incarcerated rapper Rondo No. 9 is originally from, and it appears that Risky Road and the Bloodhounds have been having some kind of beef even before Jeff's murder, as one of their most popular rappers called Risky Bands would post some stories in early June dissing Q50 by claiming that he had gotten the Bloodhound member Hothead beaten up in prison. There would also be some rumors that Scoom or the Bloodhounds may have had something to do with one of Risky Road's members getting killed, Scoom's murder then allegedly being a getback for this. Then, already the following day after Scoom's murder, Risky Bands would make a cryptic post that some Redditors would read as him claiming Scoom's murder. Soon, more rumors would come out pointing the finger at Risky Road, but to be clear, for now there is seemingly no credible evidence against Nene, Risky Road, or anyone else for that matter. As Q50 would find out about Scoom's passing the next day, he would simply post WTF on his Instagram story along with a picture of the two together, likely reflecting just how dumbfounded he was to find out he had now lost 2 of his best friends in just 1 month's time. About a week later, Q50 would drop a music video for the song 333 that also featured posthumous verses from Lil Jeff and Scoom, with the whole song and video recorded before their deaths. 333 would end up getting Q50 his first million views in less than 1 month, and despite all the losses he was facing, Q50 wasn't slowing down, dropping the music video for the song Splash Bros just 2 weeks later, this one now being over 1 million views too. Splash Bros started with another tribute to Jeff, with Q50 saying "Long live King Draco" and saying rather menacingly "Long live my brother, he probably killed your brother." And the track had back-to-back violent bars all about specific crimes, which we've already discussed earlier in this video. Now, Splash Bros is one of my favorite Q50 songs. It has a surprisingly upbeat melody and beat, which comes in stark contrast to Q50's vibe.
I ain't gonna lie, it's either Make It 4 or Splash Bros. I ain't gonna lie, even that new Vaughn shit, I ain't gonna lie, Vaughn did better than Q50. I just wish Q50 was a little like faster when he was rapping on that Vaughn song. But I think Splash Bros might be my favorite Make It 4 a second.
Violent lyrics, making for a uniquely bipolar listening experience.
That's what I was waiting for. I ain't gonna lie, the Jeff tattoo was gonna be crazy.
To get you in a mellow mood until you tune in and listen to the
I was thinking like a long-lived JD, like a long-lived Jeffrey Dahmer. I was like, that's gonna be crazy if you do that. I don't know.
Violent disrespect that is actually appearing in the lyrics. Q50 was now one of the hottest artists coming out of Chicago, but unfortunately, there appeared to be some internal friction within the Bloodhounds, as the fans would soon notice that Q50 had seemingly stopped following Vert on Instagram. Vert would also make a post saying that he doesn't have a manager, which would make some people seemingly think that he had been dropped by the same management that was now handling Q50's career. Soon, Reddit would be filled with different theories as to why the two begun beefing. Some were claiming that Vert was being too close with
He said his face on the side of his neck. That's what Vaughn got for T-Roy.
His old friends from Trap City, as there would even be an alleged phone conversation between Vert and Jeff that would be leaked, where Vert would appear to say that he missed his friends from Trap City, which Jeff would surprisingly agree with, before Vert even seemingly saying that they were now even with Trap City, which seems to point to the murders of Z Money and the revenge killing of Lil.
What we gonna do? We down there, we gonna, we got that loan, food, TK nigga, the real one. So look, Mike, we can do. Man, look, I'm not gonna get at nobody. Look, that's us. But look, I was just talking to my peoples. But look though, like I ain't gonna lie, I missed the hood, for we not finna be killing each other, none of that, folks.
I mean, really, I told you, he sent me that DM. He posted me on my time about it's still love, it's still blood.
Yeah.
You know, still good. It is what it is though, cause they got me fucked still.
Like that, if you really think about it, on what though, that's even.
Others, on the other hand, would resort to trolling, with a rather random meme about Vert smelling bad taking off on Reddit and social media like wildfire, as people would begin to make funny posts about other Bloodhounds supposedly reacting to Vert's funky odor during interviews and music videos. However, Q50 would eventually comment on their relationship during an Instagram live, saying that Vert is his brother and they'll never fall out, but he'd just been mad at him about something for a moment.
Hey, look, all that verse, my brother gang. Stop all that, boy. I'm not into it, my brother, man. What's wrong with y'all, folks? My dead homie. That is my brother gang. Yeah, never fall out over shit. I just was mad at folks for a little bit, that's all.
It seems that the two are back on good terms now, and Q50 is back following him on Instagram. Meanwhile, in late July, Q50 would be arrested, sending the Reddit and social media into a frenzy, as people thought that he was finally getting caught up for all the murders he was claiming in his songs and on social media. Things would be particularly confusing, as people would take his seemingly earlier 2023 charges from CPD's website, but apply them to the latest arrest, even though the Cook County Sheriff's website that lists his recent arrest doesn't include any details about his charges. People would also get confused by the fact that he had no bond, thinking that this was a sign of how serious his charges were, without realizing that Illinois had in fact ended the cash bail system already in September 2023, this in fact happening even before Q50's first arrest later that same month. Even Q50's ops were rejoicing, with one Trap City member posting, "Let's see if you can fight," together with Q50's mugshot, while a 9-5 mob member would post how he's going to do something dumb just so he can get into the county jail to fight with Q50. But then, strangely, only a few days after his arrest, Q50 would be back in the streets like nothing had happened. And only about a week later, he would drop another song with a music video, aptly titled First Day Out. The music video beginning with pictures of social media posts about his arrest before showing him walking out of the Cook County jail. Q50 would then begin his verse using his now trademark catchphrase, "They like damn 50, whilst commenting on some of the wildest rumors that he had been arrested for a murder, saying his ops wished he was in jail for longer because they hate to see him free. He would then continue his other new trademark.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. This might be better than Make It Far. It's tough because I don't like the sample, because I've heard that sample in like other like New York drill beats and shit. That's why. It's a good ass song. It's definitely top 3.
By dropping names of numerous ops that the Bloodhounds had allegedly done something to, such as a Trap City member called T3, who's in jail for longer because they hate to see him free. He would then continue his other new trademark style by dropping names of numerous ops that the Bloodhounds had allegedly done something to, such as a Trap City member called T3, who Q50 would claim had gotten hit with a switch, another Trap City member called VI, who he would claim had gotten his kit or jewelry taken from him, and then of course a reference to murdered Trap City member Leal, as well as throwing a bonus diss towards the recently killed member of the 800 set called TJ, who had been beefing with the Bloodhounds before his death. Q50 would also seemingly diss TMC Slide and a rapper called Trey Trey, or FBG Trey Trey, but this FBG isn't standing for FBG Duck's Flyboy gang, but actually the Free Band gang, as Trey Trey was also signed to none other than Atlanta Auto-Tune legend Future, before he and his friends would get into a deadly shootout on a freeway that would end in a crash, causing Trey Trey to lose his life in August 2023. Trey Trey was allegedly affiliated with a set called 10 Gang, also known as JMG or FBE, who were affiliated with some of the Bloodhounds' biggest ops, such as 8 Trey Mob, Evans Mob, and 9-5 Mob. Q50 would also aim his disses towards Lil Scoom's alleged killers, as he would rap how it's long live Scoom and how he's going to kill a girl. This being a rather obvious diss towards that girl Nene, who had allegedly backdoored Scoom.
I mean, he's just saying, like, he's not trusting, like, he's not getting back to his brother.
This would also be around the time when many of Q50's old and new songs would begin leaking. One of these being a song titled Grade O, where Q50 would now aim his disses towards the Risky Road set, who had allegedly been the gunman behind Scoom's murder, rapping how he's driving through the hundreds trying to shoot a Risky Road member. The hundreds being an area in Chicago's South Side named after the street numbers that are literally in the hundreds, such as the 104th and Mary.
I ain't gonna lie, I seen, I think, was it Fatso? I think Fatso, like, he's doing something with it. I ain't gonna lie, the caption said, like, Fatso links up with Scoom's alleged killer. That's what
that the Risky Road set claimed. The music video for the First Day Out song would once again gather hundreds of thousands of views, and it seems that Q50 is now well on his way to becoming the next big thing out of Chicago. But with the amount of dissing that he's doing and the enemies that he's making, it truly seems that him staying in Chicago can only end one of two ways. Bloodhound Lil Jeff left a menacing legacy in drill music in an incredibly short space of time. His brash claims of 11 bodies, which were seeded in his genuinely good rap songs, will likely fuel all kinds of theories and comparisons for years to come. But it's the way that Jeff lost his life that truly solidified his disturbing legacy, dying on camera trying to kill someone in their own home, just like he'd rapped about for the whole world to see. Lil Jeff truly lived what he rapped. Ultimately, his story ended in a way that was entirely predictable in hindsight. But the case of Q50, on the other hand, is much more perplexing. The fact he's running around Chicago, regularly releasing music which claims openly that he's killed 8 people is wild. Even more crazy, the fact that he was arrested briefly at the height of his attention following Lil Jeff's death and then swiftly released is even more confusing. Ultimately, Q50 is living a modern-day outlaw story in 2024. And while as a fan of his music, I certainly hope that he can continue using his talent to make art about his life that gives an insight into a unique lifestyle on the fringes of society, but I'm saddened by the fact that we all know that the street life can only end one of two ways, especially when you've got 8 bodies. And while it's easy now, after being completely desensitized to the outrageously high body counts of people like Lil Jeff, compared to 11, 8 murders somehow seems tame. I'm not glorifying it or belittling the value of those 8 people that lost their lives, but it really goes to show you just how far the senseless devaluation of human lives has gotten in Chicago. Once was a time when King Von was the pinnacle of killer rapper, with his open claims of 7 bodies lighting the entire rap game on fire with theories about whether or not he really did it. But nowadays, the idea of Q50 having 8 bodies is not just believable, but not even that shocking. As I said, the street life can only end one of two ways when you're this deep in the violence, but it's very possible that in Q50's case, he may end up proving to be the counterpart to Lil Jeff's story. Because if the notoriously lax Chicago police can catch up with him before his ops do, he very well may end up spending the rest of his days behind bars and bearing the consequences of this lifestyle that Lil Jeff narrowly avoided.
Damn. I would be mad as fuck watching this if I was Q50. Like, bro. Ross ain't even in the US, but this motherfucker been putting in more work than CPD has. These new kids making King Von look like light work shit is actually crazy. I feel like Q50 spinning back and carrying Jeff to the car is not spoken about enough. Facts. Like, allegedly, that was him. But, like, real shit, he could have just left him there. He did his fine. Like, picked him up, took him to the hospital. That's real shit. Chapel Loss just shortened Q50's health bar by 50% and gave him a 5-star wanted level. Easily the most federal title I've seen. Yo.